Gentlemen, another Thursday night. We have the Lions coming up this week. We should have beat them the last time that we played them. We all know that we should win this game. It's going to be a good conversation tonight because I'm just curious, what happens if the Bears can win out or win 4 of the next 5 and make the playoffs? Because they would be the team going into the playoffs hot. That'd be exciting, right?
That's what you want.
Sure would.
That's what you need, is being hot at the right time. All it takes is getting in, dude.
Club Dub back in the house.
Club Dub.
Club Dub, rubber dub dub.
Rubber dub dub. Club Dub.
I've got nothing to say about that.
I would not expect you to. That's way too much for you, Foster.
The Bills are fucking sweating it. No, never mind, not that.
You talking about other games going on right now while we're doing a show? Crying out loud.
Bills.
Oh, okay, good.
Just never mind it.
I appreciate you, Ravi.
Everybody out there, Mark, Robbie, PJ,
Doug Van Dorn,
PD.
Cliff Victoria will be here any fucking second. Oh, I swore way too soon for an opener.
Laughing.
Damn.
No, I didn't. We're past 10 seconds.
Robbie blocked them out.
I think it's time. I think it's time to kick this off.
I agree.
About.
I can't dance anymore because we had to change the opener. Obviously, we were using Naughty by Nature for our opener, and problems can arise from that. So to nip it in the bud, we now have a new opening soundtrack. I hope that you guys like it. Before we begin, I would like to say that we are now brought to you by BetUS. Presented by BetUS. Check out BetUS, every sports bettor's favorite sports book. They have a bunch of great perks as well as exceptional service. Use the link in the description to get a 125% bonus. That means that if you put in $50, you get 75. If you put in $100, you get 125. So on and so forth. So place your sports bets with BetUS. And also, guys, make sure that you follow the PSF app. It's a mobile app. Download that to your phone, Android or iPhone, and check out the Bears chat section in there. A lot of good stuff. Lester Wiltfong and I do game casts on there, as well as a Tuesday show every night at 7 p.m. So check that out as well, and we'll see you there this Sunday for the Lions game. What's up, guys?
What's happening?
Well, huge.
And for those of you who do bet, please bet responsibly.
Absolutely, man.
Yes.
And I got to add something to that because I don't know if you guys noticed, because I actually figured out I've been using BetUS since like the 90s. They also have roulette. They have roulette and Texas Hold'em because that's what I play. I play Texas Hold'em, man. Serious. You guys are gonna laugh at me. You're laughing, and hey Pete, should I tell them?
Go ahead, tell.
I know, Shorty. It's sad you don't have your music. You can't dance anymore. Kind of bogus. I mean, we're better off for it. But the big thing is,
I'll figure out the dance, my friend.
You never could dance anyways, dude.
No, I will. I'll figure it out. Dancing is just on halt. That's all.
Honestly, I feel like you did the world a favor.
Man, the music you play now, it kind of reminds me of like going on one of those secret missions we used to go on. It's like that. I mean, man, I'm like, dang. Are we wearing dim lights and go 0 dark 30?
The secret decoder that you used to get in the mail back in the 60s.
Well, if I get another if I get 100 subscribers in the next 2 weeks, we get 6 months off of his dancing. I'm gonna beg. I'm gonna beg all 350 of my friends on Facebook just to fucking subscribe for 6 months.
I'm telling you.
You can dump the channel after 6 months. Just please, for the love of God, stop shorting dancing.
You know, maybe some people will even stay until they see you dancing or something. But whatever.
Right. Well, yeah, true. But they might stay because I danced.
It's safe to say that you would not have been a contestant on Soul Train.
That's correct. That's correct.
It's safe to say that.
I don't know.
Now, if BetUS had a number on that one, I lay down some cash, Page.
You've barely seen my moves, PJ. You've barely seen them.
I saw enough.
There's only one.
You're right.
Hey, Jason, I'm the only miserable bastard up here, so shut the fuck up. And you know I'm kidding around. You know I'm kidding around. There's Cliff.
By the way,
Cliff, Bearsky.
We should at the top of the hour here for the show, we should announce here that we have a new show coming out on BCP with Chris Watts and Jason UK Bears. They're going to be doing a show on Tuesdays at 10 p.m. UK time, whatever the hell that means. That's not Eastern. I don't know whatever that is, but that'll be 5 p.m. Eastern time in this country. So fun stuff coming up. In fact, let me just play you the quick opener that it's not quick, but it's the opener that I made for the show. I just want to promote them. So this is going to be a lot of fun. Chris Watts is the host with Jason. Let's check out the opener to their new show.
Austin Pop.
Close enough.
I can dance to this.
Yeah, me too. It's kind of Austin Powers like, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, baby.
Yeah. There you are, right there. You're right there, baby. So
baby.
I've been working on that for the last few days. That's coming out on Tuesday. Nothing to do with me, nothing to do with us. Chris Watts and Jason. What did I put in there for him? Jason None of your business.
None of your business. None of your business.
You don't need to know his last name. It's not important. It's Jason None of your biz. They'll be doing the British Bears show on Tuesdays at 5 p.m. Eastern time here in the States. So look out for that coming up this coming Tuesday. Chris Watts as the host. I am jacked about that, guys.
Yeah.
Jacked. He deserves it. I mean, he's been doing podcasts for a while. He's come to the United States. He's been to a Bears win, a Bears loss. He went to 2 games in a row. He stayed with my family in Woodstock. He knows what it's like to be an American, a Bears fan. He's grown up an American watching all of their shows his entire life. Like all of our shows. Like he knows just as much as about American stuff as we do.
Yeah, baby.
1 million
UK.
So look out for that show this coming Tuesday. It's going to be a lot of fun. I cannot wait to watch it myself. So moving on, let's get into this, the topic of tonight's show. The Bears.
Before we go further.
Oh, crying out loud.
I want to give a shout out to Mark Kazak.
Oh, thank you.
Off the covers, Doug Van Dorn. Somebody named PJ in there.
Heidi.
Mr. Shorty. Ravi. Jason UK. Leo Factor. Ville. Bearsky. And Heidi. Welcome, guys. And Cliff Victoria. Yes, sir.
What is up, everyone? Heidi, we hope that you are well there after your hurricane experience. I know that had to be horrible coming back from the United States to a hurricane. I can't even imagine. turned out to be a Category 5.
Ouch.
So we hope that you are well, Heidi, and thank you for joining us tonight. It is an honor to have you in here in chat tonight. James Ford's just joining us. Jason UK is here with us, guys.
Yes.
James
Yes.
Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome all you guys. Good to see you. Our regulars, we really appreciate you guys. Thank
James
you.
is in the house.
By the way, PJ, I love your hat for the show.
Well, thank you, man. You know,
That's
I'm a true Bears fan. I'm gifted.
you are gifted.
I will be down there
You can
later
take the
tomorrow
short
to pick
bus.
it up, man.
You come anywhere near my house, Foster, I'm getting. Where's my bazooka at? Hold on. What?
I was gonna say, did you ever find the flamethrower, the grenade launcher?
I'm gonna
any of
find
that
it.
shit?
I'm gonna find it because
It's
man,
age. It's age, PJ. It's age. You're not going to find it. You don't have it anymore. You sold it.
oh no, I didn't.
You just don't remember.
I still got.
Shorty,
I still got
it
that.
in my garage at the other house, dude. I've already been down there. He doesn't even know that yet. Damn, is he getting old and senile?
I got a Foot Locker full of stuff. Come if you want.
You had a Foot Locker full of stuff.
Until you gave it to Foster, and now you're like,
You
where the
didn't
hell is
give
my
me shit.
locker
I just
full
let
of
him
shit?
take it. I know the seniority setting him. I don't want to hurt him to hurt anybody or himself.
Yeah, you got. We have to handle people like you in your current stage, PJ. We have to handle you delicately. So just
What stage would that be, sir?
the post dementia stage.
Bodies.
No dancing for you either, Paige. Oh,
That
wait,
wasn't
never
it.
mind.
Yeah, to see that commercial where that guy talking about talking about shooting somebody. Bodies.
That's a weird sounding gun, my friend.
I'm just saying.
Pilgrim.
Man, keep PJ away from the opening music. It'd be wait. If I had to redo it per PJ, it'd be
Well, we might have to get rid of
Crazy.
both of these guys tonight, dude.
Nah,
Just
I
do our
know.
Sunday show.
You know, I be having the best music there is. Stop playing.
well, come on, give me some, man.
Didn't say anything
Our
against
new
that.
opener. Walt, what is up, my friend?
What's going on, man? Living the dream.
Living the dream.
It's only a couple more days till Bears time.
Bears time.
Living the dream. You're the only one, you bastard.
Lions. Bears. Exciting time coming up. Guys, we have Ville from the 3 Point Stands podcast coming up here in a few minutes, joining us as our special guest. But we have a couple minutes left before we get into bringing him on. Like, just what are your guys' thoughts? Is it possible? I mean, we haven't won 2 in a row yet, but could 2 in a row mean 3 in a row, 4 in a row? Could it spark a winning streak?
Simmer down, shorty.
Gotta get Sunday. That's all that matters, dude. Nothing
There
else
you go.
matters without Sunday.
Simmer down, shorty.
Wouldn't 2 in a row be a winning streak in and of itself?
Yep.
There you go.
Well,
See,
2 division opponents, by the way, too. Back
Walt,
to back.
the voice of reason.
Yes. Walt has such a very calm and soothing voice.
Your voice is as almost as calm as Dick Richards.
Well, yeah. Well, Dick Richards.
Dick Rimmel.
Kind of reminds me of
Richards.
back in the day when Dick Richards played for the Bears. He was a tight end, and
was in the T formation, had a coronary at 37, and that's the way we liked it.
let's
Again,
talk about the T formation. You're going to get me started.
mixing up centuries again. That's the 1800s. Sorry.
Yeah.
Died at 37, and we liked it that way.
And we liked it that way.
That's the way we liked it, man. Well, you know what, man? We should just bring Ville in right now, dude, because I got like 3 fucking questions I want to hit you right
So do
away.
I'm dying to ask Ville some questions. I mean, this team can still make the playoffs. That's the crazy part. If we went all these losses last year, all these losses at the beginning of this year, and somehow can still make the playoffs this year, it would be.
Somebody's been sipping the Kool-Aid.
It would. Well, don't we all sip the Kool-Aid a little bit?
Taking the gummies or smoking his bong.
Yeah.
It's one of the 3. Could be all of them, Peach.
One of the 3.
Well, we know which one of us is doing the gummies.
Is that you, Walt?
No,
Let me
man.
say it
Why
again.
Walt's so chill. Walt's on the CBD gummies. He's like, why aren't these things working? It's CBD, bro. You got to get the THC gummies.
CBD works too, man. They both work. Depends on what you need them for.
All right. Well, let's bring in Ville, man. He's been sitting back there waiting patiently.
He fell asleep, man. Look at that. Wake up, Ville.
Hey, I ain't fell asleep. I'm hearing British accents. I'm hearing bumps, bumps, bumps. Y'all getting it cracking in this hole.
Ville's beard filled out. Look at you. You and Foster been hanging out, huh?
I have to grow it back.
You got the playoff beard going too, huh, Ville?
Man, I'm with you, Shorty. I heard you, man. I guess I'll be a homer and an optimist myself. I'm excited after seeing the last couple games.
Ville, I wanna congratulate you on your YouTube channel. You've hit over 500 subscribers. Your Twitter channel is now over 2,000. I mean, it's a testament to the work that you're putting into the things that you're doing and the love that you have for the Bears. So congratulations, my friend, and thank you for joining us again tonight.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you. I got to thank you guys. If I look up to guys like you who've been doing this for a while, and I've been, taking notes, getting advice from you guys. Foster always DMing me and giving me support. TJ every time I'm on the show. Shorty, me and you texting back and forth. Checking on each other like brothers and stuff like that. So I'm excited about starting this live stream journey starting tomorrow, and I just hope to be in any realm like you guys soon. So,
you got the decoration going on back there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah, little by little, it's all five below stuff, but.
So, Ville, you shouldn't aim so low if you want to be like us, dude. Aim a little higher.
Really quick, Ville, talk about you're giving away some tickets for a Bears game, right?
Yes, sir. So a couple of weeks ago, we posted on our Twitter that we will be giving away 2 tickets, section 149. It's in the end zone, but pretty low seats. You're not in the nosebleed, so they're really good tickets provided by my soon-to-be-announced co-host, Micah. He was there with me in the beginning before I took a break last year with a health issue, but he's providing the tickets. He said, let's get it going. Let's, punch. Let's start punching, throwing haymakers right off the bat. So our first ever live show will be tomorrow at 5 p.m. and we'll be doing the giveaway during the show. So hopefully people don't jump in there, in the chat, like, hurry up and give away the tickets. Like, we're going to later in the show, because we have a nice panel that'll be going on talking about Bears football. But yes, the giveaway is tomorrow. People can go to my Twitter page at 3 Point Stance Pod. They still can enter. Like, we still haven't picked an official winner. We basically, the tweet will tell you how to register. It's basically just the same Twitter type stuff. Follow the guys at 3 Point Stance Pod, retweet, leave a comment with who you will take, type of thing. So
I love that stuff, because if my wife saw me buying tickets to give away on this channel, she would probably cut my nuts off in my sleep for spending money to give away to people. So,
hey, Bill, when I win,
go ahead.
I was just saying, when I win, I'm taking you, dude. We'll go.
Oh, okay. I'll be home in January for my new job training, so it'll be we'll make it work.
Well, Peach is too far. Dan, you're not here. Bill's nice and close, man. We'll just roll down there and watch the game. I wasn't supposed to say that in front of everybody, was I, Bill?
Right.
Well, I don't take it personal, Foster.
No, I meant that I'm getting the tick. Never mind. I will be entering.
Yes,
I did. I don't know yet.
Me too. Heidi Zimmerman says she will tune in tomorrow for sure, Ville.
Oh yeah. Hey Heidi. Hey, I'm looking at everybody in the chat. Heidi, like Shorty mentioned earlier, I am so glad that you are okay. I know I sent numerous DMs to check on Heidi. She's a wonderful, wonderful Bears fan, just like the rest of the chat that you all have that come faithfully every time I'm on or every time I'm watching and trying to jump in the chat. You guys have the best chat. So active, so loyal. I appreciate you all having me on, and I love all the guys and gals that's in the chat. They're some of my followers too, so I appreciate it.
Appreciate you coming on, man. It's awesome. You're an awesome dude.
You guys,
absolutely.
All you.
Oh. You guys ready for a group hug?
Right. Let's talk some Bears, man. Let's talk about the cheer up and shit.
So because before anybody was on here, me and Mark were talking in the chat.
Bro hug.
Go.
Yes, sir.
No, I was just going to say this was like the first thing brought up because I was going to start giving him my answer, and I said, no, everybody's going to answer this. Everybody in the chat, Dan, Peach, me, Ville, Walt. 2 minutes. Take a minute or two on this because it's pretty quick if you can do it. And what Mark Kasich asked me in the chat earlier, and this is for all of us again. Foster, where do you stand on the whole? Get rid of or build around Fields decision? And I immediately started to type in, I'm keeping Fields. I'm taking the picks. I'm trading back. I'm getting a pick for next year. Whatever I can grab, as long as I can get the 2 or 3 guys, assuming we're going to get I'm going to get a second round pick or maybe have 2. It just depends on what we get, but get the 2 or 3 guys that people have been talking about because there's a few different opinions on it. I myself would go to wide receiver and a defensive end, man. If I'm picking, I think Braxton. Another thing too is we got the 5 games to verify that this is capable, that we should be going that route. That's the way I see it, though. Because I stay with this team because we keep making changes constantly. Where do you fucking draw the line? Where do you draw the line, man? We want to be like Pittsburgh, man. What do they had? 3 coaches in my lifetime. They've had 3 freaking coaches on that team.
I think that you draw the line. I think you draw the line by not firing Flus after 2 seasons.
That's where I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Dude, I said it earlier somewhere real quick, and then I'll shut up on this. I said, what if they win 4 or 5 games here and they start looking consistent on offense and the defense just gets better? What if Poles just says, screw this, everybody's going to be pissed? Too bad, I'm keeping this whole group together because the coaching staff, what's there now, we're going to add to it, and they're going to grow too, just like our young players are going to grow. A lot of people are going to they're like going, oh, no, Getsy's got to go. I'm like, we don't have that decision. I mean, I could see Getsy going, but you don't know what's going to happen, man. So what do you guys say on this? What do you think, Bill? Right there, man. Where are you at with getting rid of Fields or building around them?
I mean, you guys already know I'm Fields all day, every day. The kid's been improving over his last 4. Even the Minnesota game where he got hurt, and then the Minnesota game that we just had where he wasn't able to air it out or anything like that, but he was able to get the ball out quicker, make faster decisions. And then the play at the end, that's what we've been waiting for, right? That signature play after you make a mistake, after you have these fumbles, can you come back and grind it out and get us downfield and place for a winning field goal? And he did. And I'm talking about not just a screen to DJ Moore for 36 yards, like literally put his whole body into that throw. That was a rocket. So I appreciate seeing that. And if he continues on this trek from at the time, I think he was at before the injury, his healthy games, he was at 9 touchdowns overall to 1 interception over those 2 games beforehand. So if those things keep going and he etches out 2 to 3, maybe even 4 wins to end the season on the optimistic side, I'm all for keeping him. That is a lot of premium draft capital. You got anywhere between the 1st and the 5th pick combined, not just like 1 to 5 you might end. That's 2 premium picks. So you could trade back one of the pick, like Foster said, get MHJ, bring him in, get you another edge to put on the side of Montez Sweat. And then after he gets old in the teeth, then you got the young guy coming up. I mean, you gotta plan for it. And I think Poles does a great job of that, of putting, contingency plans in for the next guy. You got Soul, you got Sanborn, you got all these young guys coming in. So I agree with Foster. I'm absolutely excited about building around Fields. And I mean, it does kind of, come with what Eberflus gets he possibly coming. Because if they improve and they do continue to win, Fields looks good, the defense continues to look good, then you got to understand that they're going to keep him, because then it's continues.
I 1,000% agree with everything you just said. You
And I
could
think
not
most
have
people
said
in the
that
chat
better.
are agreeing too.
Yes. Justin Fields, how you said that last pass to get us into field goal range was you said he put his whole body into it. You saw that. He totally did.
Yes, sir.
He was kind of down a little bit because of the plays that had gone. You could kind of see the demeanor on him, just kind of walking around like, fuck, we feel this loss coming on again. It's like he felt the whole team is expecting to lose because they have this losing culture. And he perfectly said by you, put his entire body into that throw to DJ Moore to win the game. That sealed it for me. I've had my own doubts about how quickly he can get rid of the ball. Maybe the screen passes weren't working because he takes a little bit too long with his release. We see Bagent come in and he does great things with his release and his footwork and all the shit we were talking about. But it all comes back when Justin Fields comes back to the game. You see the difference, man. The arm strength, the ability to move around in the pocket much better than Bagent. For all the Bagent lovers, I get it. I mean, I was, kind of trajectorying that way myself because I was never fully on board of, I was just pointing out things that I saw that I was trying to, to make comparative conversation to, not even comparative, negative conversation. Just let's talk about these two things that we're seeing together. And when Justin comes back, you see the difference immediately. You're like, yep, this is the guy. And then he comes back. He's been denied, Ville, so many times in his career on game-winning drives that were not his fault. Multiple goal line stances, coming back against the Vikings last year, and Smith-Marset fumbles the ball on the goal on the sideline, gives it back to the Vikings, and shit like that. Denied. We were like, what the hell is going on? Why can't he get that win? A lot of it came down to the plays in the game, not getting hit on a slide out of bounds, not getting hit on a run out of bounds, not getting hit on a slide. All these penalties that we have seen over the past 3 years that have not been called against it or for him when they were clearly penalties. And so for him to overcome all that shit and finally throw that strike to end the game last week or the last game, I should say, was amazing.
Beautiful.
That should get us all back on board. Any one of us that were not, everyone on board, and everyone else that was not back on board for the Justin Fields train. This kid is going to be the guy that's going to take us into the future. And we can't go starting over again. Let's just keep moving forward with him. Okay, well, that's the show.
Thank you all for coming out. Good night.
Thanks for joining us tonight. You guys have a good night.
2024, baby.
I know where PJ's going to go, but I want to hear him. And I got a feeling I know where Walt's at, but I want to hear your guys' take on this too, man. Spit it out, Paige.
You want to hear our take on what now? I'm sorry.
Justin Fields is the guy. He's the guy.
Where do you stand on the whole of getting rid of or building around Fields? What's your decision on this, man?
Absolutely build around him. Continue building around him. I think I can't help but repeat what Jason has said. Jason UK has said. He said, Fields not a finished product, so we can't give up on him. So we have to keep on going with him, because I don't see how we would expect someone to be a finished product, because Tom Brady didn't become Tom Brady until about his 7th year in. I mean, it took him a while before he became the person or the quarterback he truly is. So there's a lot of room for Fields yet to grow. Hey, Ville, is that your guy, Micah, in the comments, sir?
Micah and my nephew Juju, those are going to be my new co-hosts on the show. So they wanted to come and show you guys love. They wanted to be here in the studio to say hi to you guys, but one is caught in traffic, one is under the weather. So they said they're gonna jump in the chat and talk to you all and get the chat going for you.
Appreciate you guys joining us tonight.
Appreciate you guys.
By the way, Jason UK, you can't say the N da word without getting away with it.
I'm not even going to get into that. I have zero thought.
I've noticed that. I was like, oh my God, he said the N word.
Yeah. Well, the N word here is that
I'm not even going to get into that. I have zero thought.
I caught it.
He never said it, dude. He spelled it and then blanked it. So I was giving him a pass on that one, dude. That's what I was pointing at. I started laughing. I wasn't laughing at PJ. I was laughing because he didn't technically come out and say it. He just said, "And I'm wrong."
We caught it, Paul.
Around here.
Yeah, but he gets it either way. We got him either way, man. Because the only one who says it is freaking Dan. He's the one who says it all the time.
Neggy?
I think I'm talking about you, Shorty. You're the one who says it.
Oh yeah, right.
Just so we can play that clip.
Whenever I do.
I want the clip gone. Even I don't want to see him anymore. I never was ever into that guy ever. I'm trying to get. We need to get Walt out here, dude.
Mammy is calling me right now. I have to make sure that everything's okay. I'll be right back.
All right, man.
Walt out here. Want to get Walt's take on this. I know where he's going, I think, but I just want to see what else is coming on there. Get out here, Walt.
Did you finish, PJ?
Yeah, I was.
What's up, Phil?
Hey, Walt. How you doing?
Walt, the producer.
Man, getting ready for Sunday. It'll be a cold day in Chicago, but
that's right. You going to the game? But go ahead. What's your thoughts, Walt?
Well, I mean, you've already know my answer to that. It's built around Justin Fields. There's no other question. Yeah,
Walt's the smartest man. Yeah, that's all I got to say.
No, it's a lot of things. It's built around Justin Fields. It's remove the pieces of the puzzle that aren't fitting properly, namely Luke Getsy, or how some people like to call him Bill Walsh, walking into the podium. You know, and that guy just doesn't belong here. Flus can stay. He's done enough for me where he earned another year. But you know, like I said, we got two big picks coming up right now at 1 and 5. Let's say they stay where they are. And, you know, you could use the number 1 pick. You can trade it. You could trade the 5th pick. You could do whatever you want. There's so many possibilities out there that we can do to build around this team, and it's going to be better to build. I mean, there's people talking about we got to get Caleb Williams, Drake May, Bo Dix. I don't know who else they're talking about nowadays, but in that sense, you know, some people in chat also mentioned you're resetting the window back another 2-3 years.
Right.
You know, how many times are we going to do this? We did it with Mitch.
Exactly.
We're doing it with Justin Fields. I mean, I hope that hey, Don Burr's here. Oh shit.
Oh, fun time.
Roll.
Wait a minute, Don's here, but I was earlier and I was going to go on the show. I just couldn't. I was on the New Breed 313X Sports Detroit Lions Sports Podcast, and he wasn't there at all, not once. But he's here.
Don, if you're coming to the game, I'll look for you, man.
I'll give you the gun too, dude. Take them out. I don't mean for like cocktails either. You know, I'm messing around, Don.
Oh man, but yeah, you know, you have the probably the best ability you've ever had, probably in the next 5 to 10 years, to build this team into what could be a dynasty in football terms.
Yeah,
absolutely, man.
Agreed.
So
it takes time. Peach, how many other teams did we watch get built and run their dynasty for 10 or 12 seasons through the 70s and the 80s, 90s? How many teams?
Well, I mean, it's about taking your time. I mean, to expect instant gratification, I mean, that's where we make our mistakes at. I mean, we had Trubisky, and as soon as we got Trubisky, 2018,
wrong guy.
They want to sit there and go all in on Mac and these other things, and it didn't work out. I think what Poles is doing is taking his time, building in the trenches with the line, uh, getting pieces where he can. He's not giving away his draft picks like Pace did. He's building through the draft and taking what the draft gives him to where that first year everybody wanted that wide receiver, but the board didn't dictate that because all the wide receivers was gone. So he went with the secondary with Gordon and Brisker. So he's doing a good job of building it that way, taking what the draft gives him and building this team all along, because I see we getting a good foundation going here. So I think in the long run, yeah, we'll be all right, because I think you can just keep on going. So I'm content with it. I mean, even if Fields doesn't throw for 4,000 yards this year, we're
You don't
building.
have to.
Eventually, get there.
It's
It may not even be next
consistency
year.
and progression. We want to just
Yes.
progress week by
Yeah.
week. Hey, you brought up the matchup, Ville.
Yes,
I
sir.
was going to say, give us your take. What do you think some of the key matchups are this week offensively for the Bears? Anyway, against the Lions defense. We'll go down and we'll take the offense first, and then just start with the offense and then defense if you want to run through it. If not, whatever, you figure it out, man. If you want to give us a take on that, dude, because I know you got one.
For sure. I would say the matchup I always look at when it comes to the Detroit Lions is our tackles, whether left or right side, in Hutchinson. Like, that is the number one person that you have to look at. That guy is a monster off the line. I believe he's still but has 4 interceptions over his career. He's TJ Watt light, if you will, but not in a bad way. Like, he's just young, so he's still got some time to come and grow, and he's just a monster out there. So even the last game, I was watching that matchup with whether he was on the right side or right or left side. If they moved him around to see if they put him in the middle, kind of like they do Sweat or DeMarcus Walker for our team. You can move that guy around. You can sit him back in coverage. He's just really athletic for his size. So that's one of my main things that I'm looking at is their defensive line versus our offensive line. And basically, can we keep Justin Fields upright like we did versus Detroit the first time? And we were able to, and we got out to a nice lead. And we got to be able to sustain it, obviously. But that run game, our run game also needs to flourish this time. That way you can slow down Detroit's offense. So if, Roshan Johnson, he had his 10 carries, I think 30 or 40 yards. It wasn't much, but also Getsy didn't really lean on it very much versus Minnesota as he should have. But Johnson was looking good. You got Herbert back. You got Foreman, I believe is should be back.
Hopefully,
if I'm not mistaken. I think he practiced in the pool. So that run game has to happen. So I'm looking at the offensive line. We already know what DJ Moore is going to do. We already know what Cole Kmet is going to do. But I'm really focused on our offensive line versus their defensive line, because and vice versa, their offensive line versus our defensive line. Like, it's that's going to be the battle that I'm really looking at. And I'm excited about, because it seems like our offensive line is finally gelling, finally healthy. Finally threw what's his name out. I always try to remember his name. He kind of gives me Whitehair. Yeah, I try to forget his name as much as possible. So hopefully we draft. That's one of our draft picks, is a center of the future. But they finally got him out there with them bad snaps, but obviously we had to replace him with Lucas Patrick, who falls over everybody and almost ended Tevin Jenkins' year by falling under him and tripping him up a couple games ago. But it just looks like we're finally hitting a stride where everybody's healthy and the defense is playing great. So our offense has to step up and put some streaks together, some good games together. So
let me interject real quick and address King Pookie Nation. He says, got to remember when we passed Aaron Donald in the draft. We did not pass Aaron Donald in the draft. The Rams took him at 13, and we took Kyle Fuller at 14. Yep. So we didn't pass him. We just didn't move up to get him.
Dead on.
Was it that low? I thought it was higher than that. I thought it was like 6 or 7.
Oh no, it was like
No.
13,
No,
14, 12.
Everybody was hoping and praying he was going to be there, and when he wasn't,
For sure. I remember that. Definitely.
Fuller was a good pick.
I apologize, guys. My mom needed my YouTube passcode.
Hey, you're fine.
She needed my my Netflix passcode number to log into my Netflix account. So
family man.
TCB. So Pete, you got any matchups? Because I'm going to follow a bunch of what Ville is right off the top. That offensive matchup with basically the whole line against their defense. I mean, I know they're not number one, but they can do some things with that defense.
Yeah.
I'm a hope. I think our weak link, and we've talked about it this week, should be the center, and hopefully, I don't know, maybe he improved a little bit just because of what's around him, and it's one more, 2 more weeks, literally.
If I can,
that's our weak point, and then that's huge. I mean, I think we need to not the game plan we just used in Detroit. They're going to be all over that, so we've got to change that up. I mean, that's one of the matchups I wanted to get into because I think offensively, man, if we come out and run those similar plays, how many times have they watched us on tape in the last 2 weeks? Plus, they lived it. So I want to take a bigger advantage of the running game. I don't know if Foreman's going to be back, but we got Roschon still. He can do some pounding and whatever it needs to be. And then that middle of the field, man, take advantage of that middle of the field. We were able to get some passing done there. And I want to see a deep ball 2 or 3 times each half. Something deep, and not on 3rd and 14 when we get a 2nd and 2 or a 2nd and 4. That's when I want to see it. We can always run on 3rd and 4 then, or 3rd and 3, whatever it is. Don't waste that 2nd down like that. I'm not saying every time, but we did that a couple times, man. Even that 3rd and 5, that 3rd and 5 pissed me off that we ran up the middle. Because if we get a 4th down, if we get a 1st down there, that's at least 90 more seconds off the clock. The Lions never have a chance to score that 2nd touchdown. But we settled. We settled to line up the field goal on 3rd and 5 instead of trying to run some more clock.
Can I ask this question and pound the table for it while I am?
No.
Why not? Oh, sorry. Never mind. Officer said no.
You're talking about, you're going to the next topic.
Why not 2 tight end, quarterback under center, play action offense?
Why not?
Why the screen game against teams that blitz? Isn't the blitz factor?
I don't even care if they set up that screen game. Have an outlet. Fucking use the tight end. Run a slant right over the line because the line's going to clear out.
Right. Slant.
That way you could go to throw it to that side. Instead, just hit the slant with the tight end with anybody. So I think there's too many options they have, but doing the same thing over and over, man, we get into that.
I said this to. Go ahead. The other thing, what?
I was just going to finish with my defense because what we're talking about is matchups offensively and defensively, Shorty.
Go ahead. I missed.
We get into the prevent. I'd rather see a cover fucking 0 and some pressure on the quarterback than fucking prevent and give him 10 damn yards every damn play for 2 freaking drives. Make him beat you with his arm. And then the biggest thing that I for defensively is to get pressure on Goff right away. Go back and watch the Baltimore game. Go back and watch the games they lost. When he's getting pressure right away, right off the bat, somebody's in his face, he has problems. It takes him a while to get back in the game. And hopefully it won't be too late this time because the defense, our prevent does exactly what it's supposed to. It prevents us from freaking winning the game. So, Phil got a lot of good points. And now, you guys, we were just talking matchups here, Shorty, when you came in, because I was talking to Peach about this, telling him my take and trying to see where he was at with it.
Go ahead, Peach. I interrupted you guys.
I just wanted to ask Don Bird in the chat is I think the tackle McNeil, I think that's his name. Is he playing this week? Because I thought he got placed probably on IR.
He's on IR. Yes, you are correct.
So he did get placed on IR.
Yes.
He was a terror for us the first game. He was whipping on Patrick. He was a handful for him. So with him out, I think to the point is our run game should be able to do well, especially if Foreman is playing. If Foreman is playing and he's out of there, we should do really well on our run game. That's the only point I wanted to make. Go ahead, Shorty.
I forgot where I was at.
Your double tight end.
Oh yeah, 2 tight end, under center. Why keep going to the fucking Green Bay plan from the first game of the year? They did the same game plan against the Vikings. It just worked this time because Justin didn't get injured and he was able to pull it out at the end. And it's why all the screens? It's just ridiculous. Or as how was it Adam Carolla calls it? Ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So why not just go to a more deceptive offensive formation with 2 tight end, 2 receivers, 1 back, quarterback under center, and make them figure out what you're doing from there? If you're going to go to a blitz-heavy offense or a defense, I mean, why wouldn't you go to something that you're not giving away what your plays are pre-formation? Go to something like the Rams like to use, where they go into a formation that you can't tell where they're going out of it. That's what makes the Rams offense, or at least it used to, be so good. Maybe teams have caught on to it. Maybe that's not. That's
Right.
why they're not winning as much anymore now. I don't pay attention to them, but I knew what their offense was. The Packers love to run a lot of screens out of that offense. The same thing. And to what you were saying, Foster, and probably when I was gone and missed it, the slants. Hit the fucking slants. What is so difficult about that? If you're blitzing that many guys, as the Vikings do, there's open dudes. They're all over the place. Just find them.
You just got to be careful on them dropping
Except when
off.
you got 3 of them standing there and you whip the ball to one dude right away with four defenders over there. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, except for when the guys drop out, because if you notice, Minnesota was doing that. They'll crowd the box, and then they drop the linebackers back, just fill in that lane where you would throw the slant at. So you got to be careful of that.
Audible to a freaking, I hate to say it, audible to one or 2 guys doing a curl. I mean, you just audible, man. If you can't, then that's when you improvise, and that would be a time when Fields is going to hit you for some yards. Because if they pull back and everybody's covered, he ought to be able to just take off and get to the second level, which is 6, 7, 8 yards. But the other thing I wanted to bring up too with the right to you, Bill, is I don't see Detroit turning the ball over 4 or 5 times this game. And if we do get a turnover, we got to take advantage of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bill?
Yeah, I absolutely agree, Foster. I do feel, and I agree with PJ as well. You got to watch out for that drop. Like Minnesota and Brian Flores is just a crazy genius with those intricate details and tricking you with the formations. Pre-snap formations and things of that nature. But God, just try. Like all you hear every week on Sundays is hey, look, quarterback, they blitz, he replaced the blitzer with the ball. Like we never see that happen. Even, you can say Tyson Bagent had a better get the ball out quicker game. I can agree with that. Fields does have to work on that, but we still don't have enough of that, catch. Throw it out quick. As soon as the blitz is coming, throw it into that spot. We don't have much of that. But the funniest thing that I've noticed that, and I hope somebody has caught it, Matt, y'all got me saying the word.
Don't even.
I'm not even going to get into that. I have zero thought.
M-E, I'll say there, so I won't mess it up. His press conference earlier in the week, he was discussing, somebody asked him about why aren't we taking more shots down the field? He basically said, I don't know. I think that Justin should take more shots down the field. He should take those opportunities when they come. You see, he's very successful with it. He kind of moved away from Getsy with that comment.
I heard that.
Then Lugetti, I think today somebody tweeted about it. I wish I remember exactly who like put it together and was like now, but because I want to give them credit. But he said Lugetti came on. They asked him about Fields and what's up with all the screen game. He kept saying, "Oh no, it was Fields' decisions. It was RPOs that related, and it was his decision to throw it out on the screens." Fields, as much as he holds the ball looking for the home run, as much as people complain about that and say he's trying to be a playmaker, a hero, things like that. What makes you think he wants to throw a screen? He doesn't get the ball out fast. So he's working on that. But now all of a sudden he's like, you know what? I'm gonna just be a screen guy 13 to 20 times a game. Out the RPO. I don't want to run anymore. That's what got me this status that I'm one of the best young quarterbacks coming out. It works. I had 1,100 yards. I could just run. No, I just want to.
But he's being trained to not run, right? They've been trying to mold him into the next Aaron Rodgers, and I'm sorry, but Aaron Rodgers has a release that is far from many. You can't expect everyone to have that quick release where it just slings off of his wrist like a banshee. You can't. So it's not working with Justin. Just go back. In fact, I would suggest. Sorry, PJ, just to finish, that give him some plays and let him run the offense at this point before you lose your job.
I would say this. I mean, it's not so much the screens for me; it's the execution of the screens for me.
Ooh, they look so bad.
When I saw Debo catch that screen pass for the 49ers going against the Eagles and took it to the house without getting touched, that's how you run a screen pass. Until we can perfect the blocking to where our right receivers are not missing their blocks and our offensive linemen are able to get out and execute their blocks, until we can do that, let's leave those screens alone, because therein lies the problem. It's not the fact that he threw so many. He wouldn't have to throw so many if we actually blocked them correctly, got the amount of yardage we needed, then we can come up with something else. But because we're not blocking correctly, we're throwing 21 screens to get 1 yard.
And you find the best screenplays that work and you use those. You don't dive into the vault of the playbook to find all the screenplays and use them in one game. I mean, that was ridiculous the last game. And we've seen this before. It's not just the first game that was that ridiculous. It's just been, Justin didn't get injured that game. So now we get to see more and more of them.
Well, yeah. I mean, to Jason, to UK's point, saying that the Niners aren't running screenplays every other play. I agree they're not, because they're being successful with the screenplay they run. That's what I'm saying. If we run a successful screenplay, we won't have to throw as many either. That's the point I'm making.
Right.
Be effective at it, and then you won't have to run so many.
See, the 49ers, though, and this is the problem with the offense is they set it up. It ain't just a screen, and when they run the screen, it's the play or two before it. And what they've done for two series of downs prior to throwing that screen. So, I mean, it comes back down to what we've been bitching about all year. Mistakes and the play calling.
Yeah.
We've been saying it since day one. Think about it.
Yeah.
The mistakes as a team, as a whole, for the most part, individual play, the mistakes are lessening, because you remember early in the year, it was like, Patrick or Whitehair missed that block. Davis, you were off for those 2 plays. Oh, Borum, you got burned by that guy 4 times. So it's, and I'm just, I should throw everybody in there, but I just can't think. That's what came out of the top of my head from what I remember. So those mistakes are lessening as the team is getting better. I mean, I don't like PFF, but look at the numbers for the offensive line, the players, the grades. We've got 3 guys, maybe 4, who could play on any other team in the NFL, and they take them gladly. If you go by some of those statistics, and even looking at them on film. What is Braxton Jones gave up 1 sack this year? I know he missed some games, but I think he gave up 1 sack for the entire season. Yeah. So, and that's why I said even earlier, I was like, I don't think we have to use a first-round pick for a fucking offensive tackle.
I don't think so either.
We can run Braxton. Something happens. Maybe we get it. Maybe we got to get one next year. I don't know. People are like, oh, you got to get Alt and then throw Braxton as the swing tackle. I'm like, nah, leave Borum there unless you find somebody better than Borum, and get a wide receiver, get a defensive end. You can find a decent guard in the fourth, somebody to cover that inside, man. Maybe go back, and I said this last year even too. What about maybe having Jatiri Carter get some reps and work at center? I mean, there's just, that's the good thing about the talent Poles has brought in. There's options because these guys are talented. Look at Tevin. That guy, if you needed to, he probably could play anywhere on that line, inside and out.
Probably center too, right?
That's what I'm talking. I said inside, those 3 positions, and the outside if you needed him to.
I totally disagree. I think the problem with Whitehair is we moved him around to where we had him at center, guard, center, and it's like, to me, snapping the ball matters. I'm not sure what Carter would do with snapping the ball. I'm not sure what Jenkins would do. So I would rather go with a person who actually played center, be it in college or a veteran in the league. Give me somebody who's actually played and used to snapping the ball, because I don't want to experiment and have the ball go over Justin's head, or you have wide right, wide left. I don't want to go through all that. Give me a center who can snap the ball.
That's our glaring weakness at offense. Would you guys all agree?
Agree.
Yes.
So, like in my mind, I'm saying this when I look at center is I want to go get somebody in free agent, because there's a couple of them that hopefully will be available, and the James Conway. It doesn't matter. I want to bring a big name free agent in there and draft one too in the later rounds. You can never have enough, man. Look at all the injuries in the middle of that on that interior line.
But the only question with drafting one, Foster, if you draft one in the later rounds, what are you doing with Kramer?
Well, it doesn't matter.
But that's what I'm saying. That's the point I'm making.
You want to be able to have it in training camp and find out what you have. You're going to say, you wasted a draft pick.
That's what I'm saying. I don't want to give draft capital if I got plans for Kramer already as a backup or possibly fighting. So I'm with you on bringing in a free agent. I want Cushenberry personally. I want Cushenberry.
Well, you have to build, and then you get that free agent that you need to fill that piece.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, so if I'm getting Cushenberry in free agency, now am I going to now spend a draft choice on him too, seeing as I already got Kramer? That's what I'm saying. Now we making that room too crowded as far as playing the same positions. So if I'm going to commit to a free agent, I'm not going to draft one. But if I'm not going to commit to free agent, I'm going to draft one. So that's the point I'm trying to make, because we already have Kramer, and if I'm not mistaken, Feeney or Sweeney, whatever his name is, I think he's on the team for next year too. Yeah. So what do we do with him?
So we probably don't need to. We might have to draft one the year after that, if we get the free agent. Because Patrick's not going to be here. Whitehair's not going to be here. Go ahead, Phil. Sorry, Bill. Sorry.
Oh no, you're good. I was just thinking. I agree with PJ. I'm not disagreeing by saying this second part though. I feel like Ryan Poles, we all know, is the king of trade backs, and getting 2-3 more extra picks. So I feel like every position should always be challenged, and Ryan Poles does a great job, like I said earlier, of having contingency plan after contingency plan. Mm-hmm. So like, it's crowded right now. We got Feeney, we got Patrick, we got Whitehair, we got Kramer, et cetera, et cetera. So if we don't know what's going on with Kramer, we don't know if he's the guy of the future. We don't know how good he's doing with what they're giving him. So if you add another person in that later round, maybe the same round that he got drafted in. I'm trying to also think at the same time. I'm sorry, because I believe we got a 6th or 7th rounder for Claypool. So we got that extra pick. So there's always extra picks to use. Yeah, we don't want to waste picks, but if you're gonna waste a pick, get somebody later in to challenge that next guy. Like, we're gonna put this guy in here to compete with you? Because if not, if he beats him out, just put that kid on the practice squad. You can always you can always use more depth, basically. But by then, with the first two picks, I'm sure he's gonna trade back at some point. One of those first two picks is getting traded back. So we're gonna have a plethora of more picks, especially in the later rounds, and more picks earlier, actually, to fill needs. I really want him to draft an early center. If there is a guy, I'm buckling down and going to get into my draft mode to try to find those guys. But so I can't say I can identify a guy. If the chat wants to throw a guy in there that they think we should draft early, first day one, day two, then let us know, and we'll do some research on them. But I feel like if you don't do it early, maybe take a shot like Foster was saying, and especially with one of those extra picks you'll either get in the draft or that you already have.
Now, if you guys don't mind me interjecting here, the reason why I'm with you on the fact of if I'm going to go with a center, drafting one, I'm trying to go one in the second, maybe third round. I'm not trying to go in the later rounds because that's where we got Kramer at. So him and Kramer is basically the same thing. I then think I'm wasting a draft choice because in my head, I'm thinking like Eddie Jackson's not going to be here. Brisker is often injured. So if I'm going to stack up on a position, I'm going to be stacking up on safety because I need to replace Eddie and I need another quality safety to be ready just in case Brisker goes down. So I'm not going to be stacking up on center knowing that there's only one can play at a time, but I can have these safeties where I'm like, okay, only safeties we're going to have is Brisker, the Williamson, who's on the practice squad now, and Hicks. So I'm going to need two more safeties. So let me address that as opposed to I got Feeney, I got Kramer, if I get Cushenberry, I know Cliff Victoria wants Connor Williams, but me personally, I want Cushenberry. So if I got them guys already, then I'm going to draft. If I draft one later on, I'm like, well, where is he really at?
Hold on, but Kramer is gone, guys.
Kramer's gone. He's back.
Wait, he's back?
He went to Cardinals, and then Cardinals released him. Then we got him back.
Yeah, he's on the practice squad.
He's on the practice squad. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, guy, this information is like 5-6 weeks old now.
Okay, well, screw me then.
Wow.
Walker popped in and dropped a bomb.
Here, man. It's what
I'm out.
What Poles is going to figure out for the depth that he needs. That's what he's going to fill. So the thing talking center, I could say the same thing about guard because I still think we need another guard. Definitely need centers, Pete. Absolutely. Defensive end still light.
Because when we get too heavy though, because if we draft, because I'm talking in the like first 4 rounds. If we drafting anybody, I'm thinking they're making the team. So as it stands right now, our guards are Davis, Jenkins, and Carter. We need one more guard, but that guard got to also be a backup center. That's why that being the case, so what I'm saying is if we go ahead and get too many people, then we're basically duplicating because we can only have so many on the team. Go ahead, Foster.
Get the depth. You're going to lose somebody anyways. You might as well have all good players instead of, oh, crap, we kind of logged up here and we got to put this guy on the practice squad and somebody snags him. Zach Thomas, Kramer. I can't remember. I'm missing one other guy in there. But to have the depth to where, hey, you know what?
You're missing the defensive tackle that we lost. The kid that
Travis
Ville. Yeah, thank you.
You can just never have enough depth, and it depends. Poles and these guys are going to know where they need. So even me saying center, that's just an option. That's the great thing about where we're at. They have a lot of options, and we've been terrible with our depth for 15 seasons, man. Think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Hicks goes down, oh, we're screwed. Long went down, we're screwed because we got nobody behind him.
Mm-hmm.
We can't do it. You can't be a successful team and do that. People always say, "Oh, well, how come the Vikings or the Cowboys, they're missing 2 linemen, but they're fine because they've got depth." They've done that. They've built up a stockpile, taken the guys they wanted, and oh well, you know what? If that guy's around later, and we need a guy, we know the guy to get in week 16 who just got released off of or is sitting on a practice squad, whatever. So that's more of my point than even being realistic. I'm for signing Connor Williams. I'm with Cliff, man. I couldn't remember his name. I said something Connors, but
yeah,
that's who I would go after for center position in free agency. These guys in the chat are really talking about some of the matchups in this game. Like even Steve was going, and I agree with them, man. If we can run on the middle of the defense in Detroit, the secondary's having problems too. So I mean, we've got places to attack offensively, guys.
absolutely. I mean, but it all starts with that line up front, because when I seen McNeil manhandle Davis on a play or two and was just instantly on Fields, it's like, whoa. So we have to shore up that line. I mean, yeah, Davis, I think he'll be fine, but yeah, so my point is, if we going to center and free agency, I'm not trying to duplicate that with another high draft pick, because I got my center now. So I'm going to spend that high draft pick on wide receiver, defensive end, a backup swing tackle. I'm going to do something like that, but I'm not going to duplicate the center position high. And as far as doing it late, because wherever Feeney is, is his name Sweeney or Feeney? Feeney. Wherever Feeney is, I mean, if he's that guy who's going to be our backup swing guard / center, okay, do I really need to address another guard? I don't think I need to necessarily address that, because we got these other holes we can fill. Because if we're complaining about Velus Jones, let me bring in more than one wide receiver as well.
Absolutely.
Please.
And this is the year to do it.
Yes.
There's a big.
And not to mention tight end.
Yeah.
There too. That's another position they got to draft.
Yeah.
But like I said, Poles will look at all of this, man.
Ville, would you take Marvin Harrison with the first pick?
Yep. All day, every day. People can say whatever they want to say about taking wide receivers at 1, all this other stuff. This is the 1 year that you absolutely should do it, because he is, compared to Megatron, Calvin Johnson, he is the best wide receiver prospect out of this draft. He's probably the best in some years that we've seen, and probably will come in right away. Any team, well, probably I would say 3/4 of the teams, and be at least at minimum their 1B to their 1A at minimum. The other reason is because we have that other pick. It's not like we drafting first and they got to wait till second, third round. We have the other high pick that you can either trade back and get multiple other picks, or draft another premium player. But in order to not miss out on a generational talent that the Bears have never had at wide receiver, if you bring up Brandon Marshall and claim he was generational, you can kiss my ass. He was a great receiver, but we did not draft him. He stayed for a little while, had fun, hit a few little chicks here, ate some Uncle Remus, and was gone. Alshon Jeffrey, injured, hamstring, gone. We need somebody that we can call. We need somebody that we can call our own Megatron. We got to wash the taste of Claypool paws out of our mouth. We got to get that out of our head. We need that number one guy. DJ Moore is great. He's a great number one, but he needs help, because eventually they're going to start zoning in on him. So without that other guy, and I know there are other guys, there's neighbors, there's a couple of other kids out there.
Keon Coleman.
I want the best of the best for once at wide receiver. I know everybody's like, well, we don't have the best of the best at quarterback either. We've never drafted. I'm sorry. We don't have the best of the best ever have drafted that either. I don't care. I really don't care about the quarterback because I know we got a solid quarterback. We know we got a guy that if he's got the help, he can hit this guy deep. That's what he does well is hit guys deep. So I'm going to hand it back to PJ. I know he's got something to say, but I'll take it.
I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Because I'm a Fields fan, much like you are.
Mm-hmm.
I question, and this is only a question right now because I truly don't know the answer.
Mm-hmm.
Can Fields deliver the ball to both DJ Moore and Marvin Harrison? I say that because I'm not seeing him get the ball to Mooney, although he's getting it to Moore. Maybe it's a height thing.
Oh, I know he's setting you up. I can see it right now. You're getting all stretched out. I get it. Go ahead, PJ. Finish. Let him go.
I mean, so that's what I'm trying to say. I just wonder if you're confident in believing that he will be able to get the ball or spread the ball around to both of them. Go.
Yes, sir. Okay, because I think Shorty seen my tweet.
Can I just say Cole Kmet?
Oh yes. Okay, so let's get it. So I believe Brad Biggs or whatever his name is or whatever tweeted about Fields' lack of progression is showing because, or somebody used his progression article to say that this is proof that Fields doesn't go through his progressions because Mooney's on a down year. Okay. Cole Kmet just signed his contract, right? What was it? 4 years, $50 million, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mooney has not been in discussions at all. We haven't heard anything about him coming back, re-signing anything. Even I barely even hear them asking him questions personally, like, you got anything going? So that kind of lets me know that Kmet was a priority. He is the second option for Justin Fields. That particular connection has been way more used and way more tighter and comfortable for Justin Fields than Mooney has. People keep on putting this, well, what happened to their bond there? No, Kmet was the guy that had 93 targets in 2021 with Justin Fields' first year starting. That was his comfort side. And they weren't always on the same side. It's not always like Moore and Cole Kmet are on the same side every time. So he has to go through progressions to get to his tight end. So I believe with another guy that you can hit deep, somebody that's going to get open, that you can trust and look to the side and say, oh, I know, even if he's not wide open, he's big enough to get this if I throw it up, he's strong enough to box people out and things like that. And they can get that off season to vibe together. And I'm sure they see each other. I'm sure off seasons they played, throwing the ball together. They're Ohio State alumni. So I'm sure they've got some sort of bond going where you put him together with Fields, just like if McLaurin or something was traded to us. I believe that would have been an instant fuse, just like DJ Moore, because they got that Ohio State background. Not because they played at Ohio State, but because of that offseason, they're always seeing each other. They're in each other's ears, supporting each other and showing up at camps and things like that, doing little workouts and stuff that we don't see. So I believe he will be able to, because Cole Kmet right now is at 56 catches with no drops on the year, 68 targets. It's still 5 more games left. So if he can get it to Cole Kmet, why we think he can't just look a little further to the right and be like, oh, there's a 6'4" guy that's moonwalking in 5 yards of separation down the field. I'm going to throw it to him. It's going to take for this staff to open up the playbook and let him start throwing it deep and allowing him to hit guys like Marvin Harrison. But he hasn't had a guy. Mooney is just like I think Shorty was saying. Somebody just said it's the height thing. Like Mooney isn't that big of a guy. It's easy to lose him in a crowd. You know, they had a nice nice little bond last year when he had absolutely nobody. But the deep guy that he was hitting most of the time was Dante Pettis.
Mhm.
Dante Pettis is what, 6'2", 6'3". So
no.
that
Smaller than that. I think he's like, isn't he like 5'10", 5'11"?
no, I don't think so. I think he's like 6'1", 6'2", something like that. I might have went a little too much, but
Either
I think
way,
he's like,
it's like, he was last year. Justin throwing to Mooney was as his main target. That was his guy.
yeah, that's all he had.
This year it's DJ, and he has other progressions, and Mooney is just not in them. Komet is before Mooney in his progressions.
Shit. Sorry, excuse my language. Roshan Johnson has 24, 25 catches. Mooney has 25 catches. So you can't say he's not going through progressions because the running back has just as many catches as Mooney. Are you dependable? He might be open. I'm not going to say that Fields doesn't miss guys. He's might be
6'1".
open. I'm sorry. Yeah, 6'1", 6'2", whatever they list him at in San Francisco and New York. But he's bigger than Mooney by a lot. Yeah. And he definitely he's a lot better, or Pettis was a lot better route runner than people give him credit for, especially short side. But getting deep, he can get out there. He can trick you with his speed. But I believe Fields, yes, PJ, he's absolutely going to get the ball to Marvin Harrison.
Oh my God, yes.
That's why we're here. That's why Chase Claypool was brought in for his size, his speed. That's Ville, when I mentioned Keon Coleman, I mentioned it. Marvin Harrison, Keon Coleman, O'Dunes. There's another guy in there, but those guys are all like 6'4", 205, 215, and can fly.
Yes, sir.
That's why we brought Claypool in, and they know this offense needs a Claypool. That's why he was brought in, and Pettis and these other guys, and nobody's it. So I'd love to get Harrison if we trade down to second or third, depending on who's there. But I guess if we got to take him, we got to take him. I mean, that's not our decision. I would love to have him. But if something wows Poles and he gets there and you're going to give me 3 picks plus this defensive end, I'm just going to say Tampa Bay. What's his name in Tampa Bay? The guy, whatever. It could happen because it'd be like, all right, screw it. I am gonna screw this. I'm not even gonna get a big guy. Neighbors is still available. I'm gonna take him because if you got 2 DJ Moores, holy crap. And I'm not saying that's the route to go, but I gotta think like Poles, man. You gotta take the blinders off and stop looking at one thing. You gotta look at everything. Definitely want to see Marvin Harrison. I even said I would take him first pick if I had to. If I do that, then I'm definitely trade 5, 7, or 10, and maybe even trade that twice, depending on who's there.
Exactly.
Right at about 15, 17, there's going to be some good defensive ends that we probably want to grab. Man.
I love that you said that you would take him first too, Ville, because we all have said that here on our show here.
Yeah.
I have.
Walt said it. I know Dan said it. I said it. Walt said it. Bill said it. There's 10 other people that
has not said it, which means he gets removed from the show. So you are out, my friend.
I just feel like if you're gonna do it this year with that. I hear PJ. I kind of have been back and forth on it myself, but because of the fact that we do have that other pick that we can do things with, and we don't know, it might stay at 5, it might come, and God forbid, because I want us to win. I don't care. I'm a Bears fan. I'm not a Lost fan. So it could get back down close to 3 or 4. And then you can trade back to 5 and get another haul of picks. So I do like what Foster said too. Comparable. You're right. I do like what Foster said. Absolutely. Like if you don't, there's some monsters out there. So I'm enjoying this. I'm going to enjoy this offseason because there's so much that we can do with these picks. So PJ and Foster, I agree.
I always say, man, give me as many options and as much information as you can give me, and I'm going to make the best choice.
Absolutely.
I love what STC said here.
You do not. He's making that shit up, STC. He doesn't love it.
Yeah. Well, fuck. I was trying to pretend like I did, at least.
You love it. Just go on, man. Just ignore me.
Isn't it still less than a year ago that Mooney had his leg bolted back together? Maybe next year he'll be back. Yes, good point, STC.
I'm and I say that because, like I told you guys, I'm a fan of Fields. I'm just wondering really what the disconnect is with him and Mooney. I mean, I'm hoping that they can get back on track next year by, us keeping Mooney and keeping Fields, put Mooney in the slot, have a Marvin Harrison on the outside. But within this offense, I'm hoping Getsy's not here, but within his offense, I'm wondering, is it the offensive play caller, whether or not he can get all of the weapons involved? Because you see we have Tunyon. Tunyon had 50 catches last year with Green Bay as their second tight end, I believe. Now he's here, and he's got what, 5?
15?
Yeah.
So that's why I'm wondering, does this offense even permits Fields to be able to get the ball to these different guys? Because it seems like it's either DJ or, to a small degree, Komet, or no one else getting the ball. And I don't necessarily blame Fields, because I think he does a good job of seeing the field. I just don't think – I think it's part of the plays that are being called.
When you're going 3 and out a half of the time, you're not going to get everybody the ball anyways. That's the big problem.
This is true too. This is true.
So I mean, there's just too many things that are involved, and my big thing is I just put my faith in polls, because we haven't had this. People were bitching about it again last week. Polls have got to go. Claypool, Venus, he let Bell go. He didn't keep Zach. I mean, any little thing they can find these days. It's just like what they're doing to Fields, nitpicking every fucking thing. Lay them all out on a piece of paper and grade them. You're going to find the guy's come up more than he's not. I still say, man, I love the Sweat move. You guys know I said it, fucking whatever. But Sweat changed that entire defense. He changed every guy in that line, which affected every phase of that game since we got him. The defense was on the up there, but the minute Sweat came, you go back and look by what happened in game 1, the first game he was in. But you take the second, third, fourth game, that line is different with the same guys.
Mm-hmm.
The same guys. Just one more guy in there.
Looks like we lost Ville here, but hopefully he'll be back when he gets reconnected. Yes, excellent point, Foster. We can still make the playoffs. That is the most exciting part about all the shit that we have been through as Bears fans in the last 2 years. It's been just a cataclysm of losses and difficult podcast to do together, talking about losses, and to kind of see it all starting to come to fruition. You can go, oh well, they played a shitty offense or blah blah blah. But the point is, like, no matter who it comes down to, whether it's Matt Eberflus or Phil Snow helping out Matt Eberflus, that was I think Skylark brought that up in a comment on the last show, and I wanted to make sure that I credit him for that. Like Skylark brought up, this team has, they've lost however many games, and I completely lost my train of thought because I was trying to remember what he said. I'm just going to go on. I'm just going to ramble on until I come back to it.
I don't know, Pete. What are you thinking?
No, he was saying that Skylark was saying that, Phil Snow. How much has Phil Snow added to this defense? We don't know the answer, right?
Right.
It could be a tremendous amount. It could be very little. But we do know two things. This defense actually started playing better when Flus started calling the plays, and B, they got Phil Snow. So I guess that's a question for me to you guys does Phil Snow have any kind of say in this? Is he a part of the reason why this defense is playing better, or is it just because the rookies have come around? And they're playing better? Or is it just because the rookies have come around and they're playing better? Or is it just because the rookies have come around and they're playing better? Or is it just because the rookies have come around and they're playing better? Or is it just because the rookies have come around and they're playing better? Or is it just because the rookies have come around and they're playing better? Or is it just because the rookies have come around and they're playing better? Or is it just because the rookies have come around and they're playing better? Or is it just because the rookies have come around and they're playing better? Or is it just because the rookies have come around and they're playing better? Or is it just because the rookies have come around and they're playing better? Or is it just because the rookies have come around and they're playing better? Or is it just because the rookies have come around and they're playing better? Or is it just because the rookies have come around and they're playing better? Or is it just because the rookies have come around and Flus is now he has control of the defense? Is it Flus or is it Snow?
It could be both, because I look at it like what what Snow, is that his name, Phil Snow?
Yeah.
What Snow allows Eberflus to do is be able to call the game
plays.
Yeah, call the plays, and he don't have to worry about doing the research and all these other things. And moving forward, I would question. If I'm posed, I would have to talk to Eberflus and have a real conversation with him. Go, look, I understand you want to be the CEO and you want to bring in your own, or bring in a defensive coordinator to call the plays, but it's proven that you do a good job of calling these plays. Do we really want to lose that just for you can be the CEO? Because again, if we're being honest, the defense is the only reason why Eberflus may be back next year. Because if the defense was still playing bad, he wouldn't be back next year. So do I want to give up the impact that he's having? I mean, because you can't say, well, it's different players. Yeah, Sweat has made a difference, but the defense was playing better even before Sweat got here. And it's because Eberflus started taking over the play calling. So do we really want to give that up, even though, we come into another year? So that's why I'm saying that's a conversation I would hope Poles would have with him and say, hey, man, you may want to give up play calling, but if we suffer for it, you may not be back the year following.
Well, I want to throw this into, and I keep forgetting to bring this up, because if Flus is a smart, open-minded guy, which I think he thinks he is, I know I hope to think that I am, but he's going to take those reports, those 10, 20-page reports every week, and use them to his best advantage. I don't see how that could hurt him one way or the other. We're talking about Phil Snow.
Right.
So I mean, even if he's already knows all this, just having someone else there with the ideas and giving him more knowledge and information, or even the same knowledge, but to be aware of it all. And maybe that has, we don't know.
Right.
We don't know, but I'm sure Poles has got some idea of how much influence that has had on the defensive end of the ball. So, and it's, if somebody's coming in, they got to be very familiar. If he brings in if he's here and he's got to bring in a defensive coordinator, which if he stays, he's going to have to, correct? So it's got to be somebody that's familiar with this style, this scheme of defense, I would totally think, because we're seeing that this defense, even though we've talked to how we're against it, can be successful. It has been successful. The numbers prove it. So, I just the Phil Snow thing, though, I can't see how that could hurt anything in any way. It can only be a positive in my eyes. I don't know if you heard everything we were talking about, Bill.
Yep.
This brings me into my question to you, Ville. Do you, as a fan, obviously we have to see the rest of this season play out, but let's just assume that the defense continues on its trajectory up, right? The offense because the defense is ranked what, 5th, 4th, something. They're up there in the stats right now. The offense is climbing too. They're somewhere around like what, 19th, 20th in the NFL rather than 32nd. That's weird to see that stat. So, Ville, do you think that the best thing to do would be to continue forward, assuming that we win 4 of the next 5 games with Flus, and A, he hires his own defensive coordinator for next year, or B, continues to run it? Neither of them really matter, other than he's retained, and we retain Flus and move on with all the picks that we have, or B. I mean, I think we know your answer by now, but just to hear your take on it. That, in my opinion, that's the only scenario with which Justin Fields remains a Bear, is if they retain Flus, or, in my opinion, if they get Harbaugh. I think Harbaugh would salivate. It's just my opinion. I'm probably wrong, but he might not like Justin Fields, and he might want, the quarterback from frickin' Michigan, for all we know. But assuming that he wanted to keep Fields and move on with Justin Fields, or B, Flus is retained and Justin Fields is retained, in my opinion, I think that those two scenarios are the only two ways that Justin Fields remains a Bear. If you move on to a new coaching staff, you hire a Ben Johnson or a blah, 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 or a blah, 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 and you hand this head coach that pick, all these picks that we have, the first pick in the draft possibly, I think that all of us need to realize that if we do want Justin Fields to remain the quarterback of this team, it's either Flus or maybe even Harbaugh or bust, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Yeah, I'm pretty much in that mindset where after the last few games, especially with the improvement, the major improvement, the 4 turnovers games and things of that nature, once those games happened, I started kind of getting that feeling or that inkling that if he continues to have success, because that just shows that it's been building. It's been gradually building over the first 5 weeks, 5 to 8 weeks, I would say, of the season, where Flus had the team just went through a whole bunch of nonsense, a whole bunch of crazy firings out of nowhere, just stupid things happening, Chase Claypool situation, everything going out of just berserk. So you see those things and you're like, man, he can't handle this team. This is trash. Let's just move on. Let's just find a new staff next year. So I was already ready for all of them to go, all the coaching staff to leave, keep Justin and just let everybody go. But after the last 3 to 4 games, we've been really competitive. He's got guys, balling out, highly energetic. The defense doing their thing. The young guys are producing. Dexter is stepping up as a defensive tackle and getting major pressure on the quarterback and getting in the backfield. You know what I'm saying? Tackles for losses and things of that nature. So I feel like if he continues, especially if the defense continues on this tear, even with another maybe 2 to 3 wins, I believe they're going to have to retain him, because he's shown that all I needed you to do was get the pieces. Give me the draft. Give me the draft. I got these pieces going. I got Terrell Smith going. He's back healthy. He did his thing last week against Minnesota. My young defensive tackles are doing their thing. You got me Montez Sweat, and you see I got him getting active back there. He's got 2, should have 2.5 sacks, if you ask me. I think they gave him a half a sack or something like that a couple times. But I feel like you got to. And also to keep Fields, you have to retain him, because then that lets you know that, they both support each other. They both want to grow together. He's got his back. Poe's got their back. If you do bring in somebody else, you do run that risk that they, salivating at those 2 picks and saying, there's supposed to be generational talent at quarterback this year. Let me get my quarterback. Let me not have to deal with the media and all the rigmarole of the questioning and fixing of Justin Fields. Let me get my guy in here, and then I'll have years to take care of this. If they're mess up like Bryce Young right now, like they went after the coach, they fired the coach because Bryce Young is struggling. So,
right.
Even though the coach did not want Bryce Young, which is strange to me. Okay.
Yeah. So that
you were right. So let's fire you.
Right. That's the biggest reason. Like, if he had wanted him, I believe he would still be there, because they would be waiting for him to fix the situation. They will understand that he's a young guy coming in. They don't really have much going on there anyway. So I do feel like, Flus is the best bet or the best sign. If they retain him and don't go after another coach, that's the best sign that Justin Fields stays. It also could mean Luke Getsy is back. But what I'm hoping is that if Flus stays, that they do find somebody like a Greg Roman, or somebody that can come and run that offense to his talent. Whether it's on our staff, whether it's the quarterback coach, what's his name? I always mispronounce it, but
Jinoku or something like that.
Yeah. So, whether it's him, because you see their relationship is tight. They're extremely tight. You see them on the sidelines all the time.
You've seen more of it lately.
Yeah.
See, like in the last 4 weeks or so, like you've been seeing a lot, because before that, I didn't hardly ever see the quarterback coach. But now, I've been seeing it like the last 4 weeks. Him in the fields on the sideline again.
However, I do believe, and I'll be quick and cut this off. Eric Bieniemy is another one that I believe would keep Fields. I believe that he would bring him over, and he would want to fill up that offensive side of the roster that fits his particular system, whether it's wide receiver weapons, offensive line, the interior, or getting depth there, or finding that center. I believe he would come and want to keep Fields there. That's a possibility as well.
Learning curve, though.
Elaborate on Eric Bieniemy a little bit, please, because I've been the proponent that thinks he was the product of the system that he was in, and he's kind of shown in Washington so far with Sam Howell that he's not. He's kind of breaking that mold a little bit. Like, what do you think about him as a potential head coach?
Let me throw this in before you answer that, Bill, because I was talking to two podcasters in Washington, and they're both saying the same thing we're saying about Getz. They're very disappointed in his play calling. So just a side note there. I haven't followed enough. I don't know if you have. So give us your take on Bieniemy and see if you can open my eyes to that a little more, because I haven't been.
Yeah, I believe he's just a different breed of coach. He's a hard-nosed coach. He's not going to give you that likable coach that players coach type of feeling. And they got to understand it's the first year. Like, it's the same way of last year. Lugetzi's first few weeks, you're like, what the hell is this guy doing? And then weeks 5 through maybe 11, you've seen the offense open up. They started catering to Justin Fields, his talents, his skill level. And you thought that was going to carry over to this year, and then they just expand maybe some of the passing game, but it didn't. So that's what I was hoping to see from Eric Bieniemy, is more of that, okay, we've got a half a season going, then this next half of the season we'll go some more. But I think Washington is just in a bunch of turmoil in itself anyway. Like they just fired Del Rio. That team just needs to dissipate anyway. I think it's just more of a product of the dysfunction that had been over the last few years. You thought after Snyder sold the team that was going to go away, but I think they just really need to rid that kind of that. I don't want to say Ron Rivera should go, because he's a former Bear alumni, whatever, but maybe it's time for him to go. Like, what is he really doing? What has he done to stay there? So I think Eric is creative. I think, as you see, now that he's gone from KC, they can't get nothing done. And we know Andy Reid does majority of everything there. But I feel like Andy Reid can stand on his own right now and be like, y'all know for damn sure that's not me calling them plays. So
for sure.
And it's pretty much the same stat.
Ring around the rosy.
It's the same personnel there from last year. So they can't say, oh, well, we lost these guys, so that's why Matt Nagy and Jesus, his name. That's why the offense isn't running well.
I'm not even going to get into that. I have zero thought.
God, Jesus. So, you can't blame it on the personnel or the guys that's out there playing. So I believe Eric had a lot more to do than people want to give him credit for. Washington is Washington. I respect every podcaster, every news personality and their opinion, but I believe they haven't had enough experience with Eric to really know. And he's probably not answering the questions that they want him to answer. He's probably not elaborating what the scheme is. He's just not a media person. He's not a player's coach. So he's not going to give you that Matt LaFleur or, what's the kid from the Zach Taylors, those guys where they'll talk to you and they'll break stuff down, Mike McDaniels and stuff like that. So they need about another year. And they need pieces. They need offensive line pieces. their running backs are suspect, so they can't get a run game going, which is a heavy Eric Bieniemy thing. So once they get that established, then he can kind of be more creative in the passing game. But Sam Howell, isn't he one of the top?
The top
in yardage?
The top.
The top, right?
Yeah.
So if you don't like the play, you got to like the result, at least the yardage result. So now it's just trying to put those playmakers together because, you know, Dotson, he was drafted to be that guy, but he had a slow start to this year. Terry McLaurin, you know, he's had a slow start. But I think with another offseason, they add like a legitimate tight end into that offensive line and maybe even a running back, like a real dynamic running back. I love Brian Robinson, but he's kind of like a miniature bruiser to me, if you will. Like he's not Derrick Henry size, but he can go between those tackles and do his thing. But he's not like the speedster. They need somebody that can really take off with the ball there in Washington.
If I was to give a critique on Eric Bieniemy's coaching tenure thus far, I think there's something I learned a long time ago before I got him when I first got in my profession. Mm-hmm. They say it's easier to start off mean and ease up as opposed to being easy at first and then try to be mean. Yep. So if you're trying to implement a program, a system, be hard on the guys, demand excellence, get that foundation started. Then in year 2, year 3, you can ease up on the guys a little bit because you already set the groundwork. But if the groundwork is like Nagy's, go ahead and hit the clip.
Hold on, it's coming. Wait, one damn second.
I'm not even going to get into that. I have zero thought.
Not expecting so many Nagy's in this show.
Damn,
if your groundwork is like his, to where you come in and you all easy going at first, and then when the things go awry, you can't implement trying to be harder now because you already started off being soft. So I agree with Bieniemy's philosophy on doing that. I'm still trying to weigh his actual play calling because to Ville's point, yeah, the quarterback is the number 1 in receiving yards. I mean, but he also leads the league in sacks. So where is he at really? And the running game, I'm not sold on that either.
Right.
So that's where I'm at on Bieniemy.
Yeah, I mean, I've kind of been out on Bieniemy for the most part because I just thought he was a product of the system, and then you see what he's doing in Washington. It kind of begs some question to that though a little bit though, right? So I'm not sure if I'm still in on him, but I mean, you make good points, PJ.
Well, that's and that's the point. It's like I'm not saying I want him. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying. I'm just trying to look at it objectively on what he is actually presenting.
Fair enough.
Yeah, absolutely good information because I like I said, you guys definitely know more than I know about Washington. I've caught him a little bit, not that much.
Yeah.
So thing coming up in the chat now too.
Washington, other than Chico's the head coach who's about to be fired.
I was following them because there weren't. I was following them ever since he became head coach, and I kind of died off the last 6-7 weeks, man. You know how sometimes you get locked into a team and you kind of just always see what they're doing. That's one of the teams I did because I'm a damn Bear fan, so I'm going to follow every Bear until I drop that. It's what we do. Chad's been talking about what you kept trying to bring up, Shorty, and that is the playoff scenario, man. I see him in there. Oh, yep, we play good this week. This team's going to play its heart out for 5 weeks, and playoffs are possible. And I don't know if they are because I don't know what Green Bay and the Vikings are going to do, man. But
I believe they're going to stand up for this one,
and we could win 3 or 4 games, maybe even the 5. I don't know.
I'm standing up for this one, guys. I'm officially not sitting down anymore. I just want to bring this up.
You want some music to dance with?
I wish I had it. If it comes down to the Bears Packers final week of the season, winner goes to the playoffs.
That'd be awesome.
No, it would not be. It would fucking suck. Because we all know what's going to happen
in Green Bay.
We all know what would happen. It would just be another heartbreak. We'd all be sitting there with our Jordan Love dicks in our hands.
Pause. We need pause. Definitely. Thank you, Walt. Thank you, Walt.
That was me, dude.
Just stop that rant.
Thanks, Foster. Appreciate you, boss.
My rant is disallowed. I'm out of here.
I meant to get rid of him and bring Walt in because we haven't talked to Walt in a bit, man. I wanted to ask him a couple questions.
I hear you because the
I will lose my shit if they lose to Green.
Okay.
You beat me too. Fucking guy won't go away. He just won't go away.
Playoffs on the line against Green Bay, and we lose. I'm gonna burn my burn my house down, guys.
Have fun with that, Dan.
I was gonna just keep hitting him in and out just to see what he does, but now he's sitting back there now he's sitting down going, what the fuck?
Burn my fucking house down. I'll set the gas going on the stove.
That's two of them. What about your ants? You gonna burn that one down too?
Way too much information. I'll go to jail for all this. So I'm gonna shut up now. Just don't lose that game, guys.
Jordy's burning shit down. That used to be my answer to any problem I had. Fuck it. The car won't start. Burn it. Burn
it down. Just blow it up. Call the police. Let them figure it out after that. You know.
I think that game against Green Bay, if we're 4-0, being the last 5 games, going into that 5th game, if we're 4-0 and it's up to us to beat Green Bay or not in order to get into playoffs, I think that will say a lot for the coaching staff, one way or another. And I think that may be the determining factor on whether or not Eberflus comes back. Because as much as McCaskey's want to beat Green Bay, and here we are on a roll, everybody's healthy, we going good, and then you go against our arch rival and you not come through? Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised they didn't clear a house with the coaching staff and probably Justin Fields, depending on how he feels. I mean, how he plays. But yeah, I mean, because there would be no excuse. You guys been winning these games. To that point, you would have won, 5 in a row. Now you get to our arch rival, playoffs on the line. What you going to do? And if you come out flat, I could see George making a phone call to Kevin Warren and Poles and be like, hey, we need to get rid of some people. I can see that happen. I really can.
What's your definition of flat, though, PJ? If you lose the game 30-27, I mean, that happens.
It's not flat. But if you lose a game, if you lose a game 31-14,
mm-hmm.
You're like, okay, what are we doing? We even show up. I mean, we throw 21 to screen passes, or we do something stupid like that. You're like, nah, this ain't gonna fly no more. That's what I mean. It depends on the play, on how we played, and whether or not. But yeah, I think that would be a big determining factor. I really believe that.
Well, I mean, you break it down even more. Let's look at how you got to that point. You have to win 4 games in a row to even get there. That alone is an accomplishment, and probably more so enough to keep the staff win or loss.
I just think George McCaskey will give a lot of weight to that game. I really believe he will, because as much as he gives credence to that rivalry.
He needs something to hold on to.
I would hate if we got there and just duplicated week 1. That would just be freaking terrible. But it all comes down to with what we do Sunday against Detroit. We're looking too far ahead, man. You got to take that first step before you can finish the race, man. So they're going to be. Pete, you brought it up. I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, guys. the next 5 weeks are going to probably decide a bunch of people's fate on this team, man.
Oh,
This is gonna
absolutely.
be like,
Absolutely.
like
I mean, Olin Cruz said it best. People are playing for their NFL careers.
yeah, absolutely. I didn't catch that. Was that today or yesterday?
That was Tuesday on that recap. That recap he does.
Oh,
with,
the NBC's. Yeah.
Yeah.
I usually been
With
catching
Kaplan?
him on
Yeah.
the score. I've always seemed to be in the car when he's on.
Cliff.
Which one? Oh.
Cliff. I'm sorry, guys.
And I'll be real with you
these
guys. Coming into the season, I figured I'd be fine with 6 wins. You doubled your production from last year. Realistically speaking, I know you guys said 11-6, but I mean that's a little outlandish, even from me.
Yeah,
Right.
that was outlandish.
I was demanding 9 or 10. And
I'm
if they
still
win
sticking with 11. We should have won 11 because we started off so flat. That was the problem. Those first four games, it was ridiculous. We were not ready for the season.
What did I say, Paige? The first 2 or 3 games are going to be like preseason games, and they were. Not even for just the Bears, for everybody. Kansas City lost right off the bat. Everybody was scrambling because
And that's
they
what I'm
don't
saying.
use preseason right anymore.
We don't have the luxury of being like half the teams where we're going to lose that game. If everybody going to come out flat, we need to be the ones who's going to win those games because we have such an uphill climb to go anyway. So we should have been on point come preseason. Hey guys, we'll make sure you guys healthy. Got these plays together. Got your cohesiveness together before we can hit the ground running. Come the first game of the season, we're still trying to figure stuff out.
Yeah, that's terrible. Absolutely, it was so fucking terrible, man.
That's why we started off 0-4.
More than just that, too.
Huh?
More than just that. I mean, even look at the week 1 games from this year and last year. There was an improvement overall in terms of sole production, at least from the quarterback. You know, we just didn't win.
How the way Fields was playing last year and the points this team was scoring last year when they didn't have shit. You know, and we're 1 game ahead of that right now. I don't see why we're not at 6-6, 7-6.
Shit happens.
Because we didn't finish against Denver.
Well,
and we didn't finish against Detroit. That's 2 wins right there.
I'm going to my thing with Walt is I was demanding 9 or 10 wins because we should win to 9 or 10 games. Just looking at, I was going on paper, the talent that I thought I saw.
Yeah,
we could have beat the Buccaneers.
Absolutely,
we could have beat the Buccaneers.
Absolutely,
that would have been 7 fucking wins right there. You know what I'm just saying. And who knows, man? Because if we were prepared and we had all fucking summer to prepare for that Green Bay Packers game, and boy, the Packers were damn prepared for that game. I don't know why we weren't, or did we just come out so flat we got our asses kicked?
It didn't like we found out on Tuesday that we was playing the Packers on Sunday. We knew all summer long.
Right. We knew it since the day they released that schedule, man. Yeah. Everybody had that circled, man. We were talking about the cost of those tickets in March on this show. I don't mean to go off. We need to get back to Detroit, man. Maybe even there's a few statements and some questions in the chat that I started. It looks like some of them are gone, but
they weren't really questions. They were just statements.
They were statements. I was going to make questions off of them. That's why I started them all. How many coaches have been demoted to coordinator and accepted their role?
Not one.
Does anybody know of one?
Not one.
No, that's pure fantasy, Foster. No head coach is going to go and do that.
Right. That's the whole point of the question. It's even a big laugh out loud, man.
I know, but I'm just telling you my opinion on it. Like that is just complete and utter fantasy if you're really thinking that way. I'm not saying to you, but I'm just saying in general.
Well, people were talking about it.
Well, most people are stupid.
Am I allowed back on my own show now?
No.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay.
Every time I looked down there, though, you were gone, dude. Are you coming back on?
I can leave. You guys can go on if you want without me. I don't.
Oh, I guess we got to let Dan back in.
You know what,
Heidi.
man? This kind of crap. That's it, dude.
Heidi is asking where was I at? Well, I got kicked off my own show, so I took a piss.
Dang.
And
What's up, Swifty?
Swifty, what is up? Swifty in the house. You guys are hilarious, man. Where's Foster at right now?
I just want to know whether or not New England is trying to tank once again here. That's all I want to know.
Oh yeah, it's definitely looking like that's the situation. It's
scored 21 points.
I'm worried.
Yeah, 21 points in the first half, and now they act like they can't find the end zone. So yeah, I think they're trying to tank once again. Well, first of all, we didn't score against. They didn't score against the Chargers. Now you want to sit up here and blow a 21-3 lead against Pittsburgh with their backup quarterback. Come on now.
Yeah, I know. But did you see Trubisky on that last drive, driving him down the field, and he comes off the field? I was like, oh, what the hell, man? Nick.
Trubisky played well against New England for us guys. He has their number.
It's easy to do when you're starting your third string quarterback because Matt Jones isn't your first stringer. Sorry.
Oh man, yeah, they are. PJ, you pointed it out like 2 weeks ago. They are clearly tanking, are they not?
Oh my goodness, man!
Yeah, this is like the Bears last year.
Oh, they doing a better job than we. I mean, they're making it so obvious.
We look more convincing trying to win than they do, though. Except for the bleeding obvious ones was like, wait, I remember like 5 times going, what the hell? Remember when they brought Boyle in just to throw an interception? What play?
I'm telling you.
Why the hell is Getsy calling this play? Oh, I know why now.
2022. Barlissimo, what is up, bro?
What's going on, Barlissimo?
I don't know. I turn up at 3:57 a.m. to be in Foster's chat. Appreciate you all a lot. This is Foster's show.
Man.
I didn't mean to wake you up, dude. Hopefully you were up. Hopefully he was up, man. It was just sent. I put him in the thing just so he'd get to see it if at a later point in time, man. Because we were going through. We had a bunch of stuff we were going through, man. We did the 2 minutes with keep Fields or not keep Fields. Did some matchups. Now we're talking about the playoff picture. If we can actually do it, that's going to be very difficult to do either way, man. A lot of things got to happen for the Bears to make the playoffs, and the biggest one is winning all 5 games. I honestly don't see them doing
at least 4, right? At least 4.
I literally put out a tweet today where I was talking to somebody, and I stated I believe they can win 3 of these games. And I didn't even pick the games because now I'm going Cleveland might be one of those games, man.
You said that on PSF with Lester and I on Tuesday night. Yeah.
I honestly believe
Flacco's playing. Flacco's in at quarterback, and the defense just looked not like they did before, man.
I can't believe
that I'm looking at on and off.
I thought Flacco was a freaking coach.
Yeah,
I didn't realize
he didn't believe me when I told him he was going to be quarterbacking. Actually, that was 2 weeks ago, the day after they signed him, and I said, man, I think Flacco's going to be playing against the Bears, and I actually didn't think he was even going to be ready last week, but he was ready.
I mean, I think we have the capability of winning all games. Whether or not we do is another issue, but I think we have the talent, and I think we can actually win them. I just don't know whether or not everybody be locked in, whether or not the play calls will be on point, all these other issues will be there. But yeah, I think we can actually win. That's including the Green Bay game because, man, Green Bay, they've been playing decent lately, but so have our defense. We just need to get back to that running game that we seem to have forgotten.
That's a must.
But to the point of the Detroit game, with Neal being gone on injured reserve, we need to pound the ball with Foreman. We need to pound that ball. I'm telling you. And on defense, we have to stop St. Brown. He's a monster. I ain't gonna lie. He's a monster. We gotta acknowledge that. He's a monster. So we need to do something with him, make sure he's covered.
Yeah, I do want to bring this up really quickly because I know it's my cleats, my cause, my cleats week. Autism Speak does offer support to families in terms of research and other support services as well. So I'm not sure if somebody told you something different, Barlissimo, or what, because it's not the case.
I'll have to look at that. I have a family member with autism, so
Yeah, it's a fine charity to go to. I mean,
I just want to look at it to make sure it's on the up and up. There's too many things out there. Good. What's going on? I need to relieve myself for a minute here. So
Bring that back up here, Walt, from Bearski or from Barlissimo.
Which one? Oh, hold on 1 second.
The last one that was just there.
Yeah, I didn't start. Here it is.
Also, someone should maybe tell Getsy that Autism Speaks is not an autism support charity. Maybe go for something like neuroclastic. So what did you say about that? Because there's just for the people listening in audio.
No, I mean, Autism Speaks is mainly for advocacy, research, and care. So, I mean, all of those fall under the umbrella of support. It is a nonprofit organization. That's what its whole job is. It's more so about getting awareness out there to the people, and that may not understand what exactly the spectrum is, or have a very narrow-minded view on it. So,
okay. Well,
That's
thank you
not
for
bad,
your comment, Barlissimo, and thank you for joining us tonight.
exactly. Yeah, man. I don't want you to have wrong
Right.
information there.
Yeah. So, guys, dead air for a second there. What's going on, guys?
No, I'm just shooting at Bearski with this random ass shit talking about Fields and trying to compare. Everybody keeps comparing this whole Stroud is doing great. Why wasn't Justin Fields doing great just like that? Houston has a much better situation than Justin Fields had last year. Like, let's really be honest. He keeps saying, that was an inexperienced staff, and now it's not apples to apples. Their particular staff is way better suited for that roster. Their offensive line, they have better offensive line players. They drafted Tank Dell, who we all knew was going to be a beast regardless of his size. They got Nico Collins, who's been there. Their offensive line has been together. They've drafted well with the offensive line. They got DeMarco Ryan, who's got them the defense playing well. Like, CJ Stroud is a second pick. There was a reason he was picked second. Justin Fields was drafted. We moved up from the 20s to draft Justin Fields in the teens. We knew he would need work. He was thrown into a fucking situation where that guy, I don't want to see a video of him. Please, Shorty, don't do it. Because
no video
annoying me right now. Because Justin Fields was thrown into that stuff, had to deal with Bill Lazor and Matt Nagy fighting with each other to figure out who's going to be the best play caller. Bill Lazor had Justin Fields looking like an actual pro quarterback. Matt Nagy would take back the clipboard, then mess it up. 4 games later, hand it back to Bill Lazor, and then Bill Lazor would have Justin Fields playing well again, like in the Pittsburgh game or other games like that. And then we end the season, and we fire them, find a new staff, and the staff is a motherfucker that held the wallet for Aaron Rodgers and held the clipboard for Matt LaFleur and used a little red pointer in the background to say, hey, Matt LaFleur, look, that's where the wide receiver goes. And they hired him to call plays, who now does 20 screens a game and then puts him in a roster full of Walmart cashiers for wide receivers and Dollar General offensive line players. And then you want to compare last year's team to Houston this year when you see the effort that's given all around. What the
Hold
hell
on.
is he
Wait.
talking about?
Can I
get it. You feel like Fields has made mistakes. We all know he's made mistakes. He has not failed. An 1,100-yard rusher has not failed. He's failed as a passer. How the fuck do you get downfield? Getting yards, right? You get yards. How the fuck do you score points? Touchdowns, right? Does he have touchdowns?
Yes. Preach it, man. Can I add to that? By the way, Justin Fields, I totally lost my you overwent your rant and I lost my train of thought. Where'd he go?
I'm here.
Okay.
You left for a minute there.
Jesus, I wanted to piggyback on that. Damn it, I lost my train of thought. You suck. It was such a good rant.
Well, y'all was quiet. How you gonna go quiet and then not expect me to go on a rant?
Well, I couldn't interrupt you. That's for damn sure.
That was a good rant. That was a good rant.
It was.
I especially like the part about the Walmart lineman and the Dollar General receivers.
Bill Lazor. Bill Lazor. Like I was keeping stats of those coordinators of that season. Like Nagy compared to Lazor was complete dog shit. Lazor had 23 plus points a game or something like that, compared to Nagy's like 15 or 17. His winning percentage was better when he was calling plays prior to Fields. So I mean, clearly there's just been I would love to have Nagy back. Sorry, I have to do it.
I'm not even going to get into that. I have zero thought.
I had to do it myself.
Guy wants to have Nagy back. What are you doing here, man? A lot of people have been saying that on Twitter.
I'd rather have Nagy
than Getsy. How about neither of them?
Look at some of the best plays that Fields had. They were in his rookie year, man. Some of the best plays were he's had a lot of great plays. I shouldn't say that. That's a false statement. But he had a lot of great plays his rookie year. Everyone thinks about that deep pass to Mooney from like his end zone against Detroit. Like plays like that. Like where are our current staff will be trying to call a screen from the goal line. Am I wrong?
Not at all.
So that's why I'm saying it's almost like those are the good old days. At this point, with this offensive coaching is ridiculous. Use the fucking strengths of your players to your offense. Just design 100%. It around the strengths. Period. 2 tight end under center. That's a good way to go against a Minnesota full heavy blitzing defense.
Or
let's get creative and let's be the smartest guy in the field.
Or look at what the other teams has done this year to combat to face Minnesota's blitz. I can guarantee you they didn't throw 21 screen passes.
No, and I keep preaching this. You guys I'll say it again. Bring back the T formation.
If it works,
you don't make it your actual offense. For fuck's sake, use it. We saw the Bills use the T formation a little bit like 2 weeks ago, and they were on the 7 or 8 yard line or something like that. They used a T formation. They got down to the goal line. I'm like, do it again. I said to my wife, do it again. Go back to the T formation again. You're on the fucking goal line. Do it again. Nope.
Absolutely.
They didn't.
I got an answer.
It works. It works when it's needed. Come on, guys. I've
got an answer for that. In 1977, I played it. This is one of the things we laugh about here, Bill, is because I played in the T formation for 3 seasons, and at least it wasn't the wishbone. We went 14. We went 14-0, and then 78 and 79. I think we went 2-22 or something like that, or 2-20. So you got to have the personnel, no matter what you're running. You got to build the personnel. I get what you're saying. We talked about it before. I joked about it. If it's effective in spots, why not use it? Whatever it takes to get the W, man. That's what it all comes down to. Everything we're saying, it still comes down to getting a W, man, because that's what you got to have in this league to be successful. That's why these guys don't even keep their jobs for a year anymore, man.
Right.
Can't win. Well, you didn't draft the quarterback we want. We're willing to work with this guy. Sorry, we just hired you, but you're fired.
I mean, it's kind of like similar to everyone, we all know what the Niners run. Shanahan he'll run the ball down your fucking throat. We've seen him do it. He's a modern era coach that comes up with great play designs. However he comes up with it, whether his players help him like Andy Reid's players do or not. When you in this current league, it's all been geared towards passing, right? So why not just not only go back to the running, but just fuck it, go back one more decade and let's just go back to the T formation. I know I'm getting laughed at. Everyone's probably laughing at me right now, but trust me on this.
No one's laughing at you.
It's happening a little bit now. That's for a fact. People are doing it. And if you can be the one, and if you're going to be the one, be the Bears, for crying out loud, and make it happen. We've got the quarterback to do it. Just go get a couple of running backs in this draft, maybe even.
Well, let me just say this. Play calling matters.
It does.
And
whether you're go to a two tight end and then go into a T formation and then motion out of that back into like a strong or weak set, but you're just using two tight ends instead of two running backs
and utilizing your personnel to their strengths also matter.
Yes.
I say that to say this. As much as I want New England to win tonight, when Pittsburgh got the ball at the 48-yard line with 4th and 2 to go right now, and they have Trubisky, who's not a great thrower, throw a deep pass and totally misses it to turn the ball over. Dude, what are you thinking as a play caller? Why would you have Trubisky throw a 30-yard pass in the air on 4th and 2? Play calling matters.
It does.
So when we have our Justin Fields in certain situations and the play calling sucks, we can't fault the quarterback.
No.
We have to fault the play caller.
The play calling. The play calling is what matters the most. You are 100%. Realismo saying, dude, said this in chat earlier. Just get the first down. Yes. No matter what is wrong with, even if you don't use the T formation, just go into it and then come out of it.
Or have a play where you just at least have a fullback and run the ball. I mean, you got a few yards to go. Just get a fullback and then follow your fullback and get a yard.
Yes.
It's funny we're talking about this because right now, the Patriots 3rd and inches, man.
Okay.
Now it's 4th and inches. I'm just saying,
What'd you say?
They couldn't get inches with the tush push. They couldn't do it.
Dang.
They used the actual tush push?
So he actually spoiled it for me.
Oh, is that? I did, didn't I? But you didn't see the next play, and I won't tell you.
Foster is in like a different dimension than everybody else as far as his sports broadcasting. It's ridiculous. You're getting,
I'm telling you,
10 seconds out of everybody.
10. He got me by a whole minute.
I apologize, Peach. I'm not thinking, dude. Not thinking that you're doing that because I hadn't been watching it at all, and I just looked up when you said that and saw 3rd and inches and went, "Holy shit! I can't believe we're talking about it."
Did you see what Doug Van Dorn said in the chat? He says,
"Who?
Doug Van Dorn."
Yeah.
The PJ, there's a disease I have seen in a lot of play callers. It's called, but if I do this, they'll never expect it. It'll work. I'm sure of it. Which is where you get the screens and screens. It's like, stop trying to be the smartest guy in the room and just execute the play. That's all.
I think Cam Newton said that, and then he was even saying it for Justin. He goes, just think a little bit less. Just execute the play.
Man.
Execute the play.
Yeah.
But it should be a decent play on a consistent basis too. So
Robbie's saying John Shoop.
Phil's thinking, what do I got to do to get the fuck off this show now? These guys are going nuts.
Thank you for making me remember the name John Shoop, Robbie. Yeah,
I forgot it.
Yeah, Ville's over there like, fuck this. I'm trying to do some shit on my own YouTube account right now.
He's trying to make some real progress.
I'm still shooting that Bearsky in the chat.
Yeah, I see
it's pretty awesome to see all you guys in chat hanging out with us tonight. Bearlissimo, it's great to see you again, my friend.
Absolutely, Bearlissimo's a gem. Like I learned so much from Bearlissimo.
Leo Factor hanging out with us again. Robbie, great to see you again, hanging out with us. Of course, CPD.
I missed you, Robbie.
Got the all 22 first, man. So I'm usually on there with him, man. Plus, his time is a good time because it's the middle of the afternoon here when he does it.
So let's get into some of the preview of this game that we have coming up here against the Lions, which is where I should say has been proven to be winnable. This game, by all accounts from all of us as fans, is winnable, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. And that's the show. Guys, have a good night. Thanks for joining us.
I just think that, like I said earlier, we have to run the ball.
Run the fucking ball.
Run the ball. Detroit will lose interest being out there in the cold and getting ran over to where that'll be a key to victory right there because they're going to get, man, it's cold out here. Let me sit up here and rest. Or go home.
Smacked off in the face early. Run the ball. Pick apart that secondary. It can be effective. Now everybody knows we can win because we should have won. We should have won.
And I think I got the latest.
I don't want to see that damn prevent defense out there. Like I said, I'd much prefer 6 guys coming and cover 0, dude. 8 guys coming. I don't give a shit at that point.
Fun fact, the latest feed.
I'm going to shut up for a bit here because.
So I'm going to say, thank you, New England.
Yeah,
actually, no, you should be thanking.
Saving it.
You proved me wrong tonight.
You should be thanking Allen Robinson right now for that fumble.
I would never thought that I would hear that. Thank you, New England, from anyone.
Well, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I think we mathematically at least have the first, if not the second pick, pretty much locked down at this point. Because I know going into the game, Carolina had to win 2 and New England had to lose everything. Now they've won 1, so I don't know if that changes anything.
You said New England had to lose everything?
Had to lose every game in order for us to move up to 2.
No, because there was only a 1-game difference between Carolina and New England.
Yeah, but Carolina had to win 2 games, and New England had to lose everything in order for us to change spots.
Carolina's going to beat the Saints this weekend. I don't know
Foster,
dude.
That's your cue. You're the fuck out of here, bro.
And then it was 3 games to Arizona losing everything in order for them to go from 2 to 3. I forget who brought up. I think it was Brad Biggs that brought up the stats last week.
So
If
the
I'm
point
not
that you're making
mistaken.
is we're guaranteed the first or second pick. Period.
I think so, but I could be wrong on this one, so we're gonna have to get clarification.
Yeah, because there's 5 games left, and if Carolina wins all 5 games, that puts them at 6 wins.
There's
So
no way
that's-
it's happening, though. Come on.
I'm just saying. I mean, if you talk about mathematically eliminated, I mean, so there's still a chance that we still won't get the first choice, but this helps us out. How many games is Cardinals won now? 4 or 3? Is it 3?
I think 3.
3.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. So if they don't win another game and Carolina wins 3 games out of 5,
3
we
and
don't
10.
have the first pick.
Cardinals and Carolina both. I mean, Cardinals and New England now both have 3 wins. They're both 3 and 10.
Okay. All right. That's what I thought. Okay.
As
All
of
right.
tonight.
Yeah, but the odds of, like you said, PJ, the Carolina winning every single game is slim.
Stranger things has happened.
They don't.
I
They
mean,
don't got to win every
Right,
game.
like the
If they
Bears
win
winning
3,
out. Like the Bears
3.
winning out. Yes.
No, like Foster getting lucky. Stranger things has happened.
Hey, I'd probably get lucky more than you, Pete. Oh, we're not talking about.
Well, PJ is married.
That's right.
Oh,
That's why I
my
figured
wife's watching. My wife's Don't get the married folks in trouble.
That's why I was gonna place that bet because it was 100 to 1 odds, and I should have placed it because that was a lock because he's married.
Did PJ pull himself there? Who pulled him?
I don't know.
We have to
He
watch
pulled
him laugh.
himself.
Come on.
He pulled himself. That's why he pulled himself.
I think he forgot his wife was.
We can't miss that laugh. Come on.
Is he? Does he need oil? What's going on?
The Tin Man. Does he need oil?
He needs some oil.
He needs some oil and ventilation.
What do you say about me needing oil? What do you say about me needing oil?
Oh shit! Now he pulled Ville.
Oh dear.
You're never exempt from being pulled from the show, Ville.
Not on this show. There's only a few people we haven't pulled, man.
As soon as we start, you're right about that. As soon as the wives come in, all of a sudden we see TJ Baskerville.
I told y'all, don't say that. She gonna get in here.
Oh my god!
Hey, she's a smart woman. Ville, you're a lucky man, brother.
Oh, I'm definitely married up.
Yeah.
Okay.
He married way up.
Big,
Out of the park, huh? It landed on the street.
Man.
Yeah, we could tell the minute she came on the show, we were like, "What the fuck is he doing on here? Why isn't her? It should be her."
See, that's why I like Ville. See, Ville's a smart man.
Uh-huh.
He know what to do.
Yep. Hey, it's one of two things, right? Happy wife or happy life, happy wife, or women can't live with him, can't live with him. Right? It's one of the two.
So how long before we hear from Miss Kitty tonight?
right.
You
That's
will.
what I'm saying.
As a bat come from behind his head.
Yeah.
Doink. She's not even watching. She just heard it.
Yeah, she's probably in bed by now. She's probably watching it on her phone just to take notes.
I was gonna say she's got the list.
Yeah,
She's got the list going. She's laying there in bed. Oh, that motherfucker.
she's making notes on her phone. Oh, okay, I got this.
Well, let me make a real quick football. Let me make a real quick football reference.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, crap.
After watching Trubisky tonight, I am so glad we have Justin Fields.
Hey, Trubisky's just a broken kid, man.
He started 16 games in college and then came to the Bears and was thrown in the fire.
And yet,
dude, he did everything he could. He was like, "My name's Jim McMahon," at the meeting at the restaurant, and blah blah blah. You know, he comes in, he's reading books how to be a leader. He's trying his best, right?
And yet he outplayed. What's that? What's that kid from North Carolina right now?
May.
Drake May.
He actually played better than Drake May did when he was at North Carolina.
Wait, statistically?
Yes.
Well, here's the other thing. He has like 2 or 3 Bears records, guys.
I'm just saying.
Go look it up.
Hard to do.
I'm just saying. Well,
hey, do not slight Eric Kramer, Walt. He was our guest.
When you hear all those talking points about Drake May, and to think that Mitch was better than what he was at that school, makes me wonder what this Drake May really is. Because when he actually played against good competition, how did Drake May actually do?
My question is who had the better talent around him too? I got to throw that in there, Pete.
Well, I mean that's a question, but to my point though. Why we saying get rid of while some people are saying get rid of Fields, get rid of Fields. This is what I'm looking at, and it's like, for Drake May, no.
There's just too many people that there's an old saying, dude. Believe almost none of what you hear, and about half or more, a little more than half of what you see, because your eyes can lie to you too at sometimes. So
my eyes didn't lie to me about
those people just read information, because I literally just read. I was going to the washroom and I literally read 2 articles on Autism Speaks that were absolutely negative, and there's about 40 more of them. I even put one on. I'm just saying.
Hold on a second. So, what Foster
it's stuff I read. That doesn't even mean it's right because I read it. I didn't witness this.
Foster is saying that he was taking a shit, and he read 2 articles on
the place Autism Speaks that we were talking about.
Okay.
I just pulled it up for the hell of it because it went right to Autism Speaks, and I read all this shit, and then I tried to find anything on him I could, and then I said, I forgot what I told Google, and I said, give me negative freaking articles on Autism Speaks. And the first thing I saw was Autism Speaks aren't the angels that they appear to be. And then I started reading, and I got to a point where I went to another one. I didn't even finish the first one. So I posted one of them on Twitter to Bearlissimo, Walt, and you. So it's on, if you go on Twitter to CB Sickles, or Foster Covers, or Bears Country Podcast pod, you can see the article. And that's just one of them. Because when stuff like that is involved, I had to look into it more, man. I have family involved in this matter. And I get sick of people getting taken advantage of. So I got to look at stuff like this, man. I'm sorry I cut in with this, dude, but I just wanted to let you guys know that was out there. That's all started because too many people read stuff and they hear stuff and then they only see the best of. So right away, this guy's a fucking god.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I was just impressed that you said Bears Country Podcast. Like I would have thought you would have said Bears County Podcast or Bears Podcast Country or something like everybody else does.
Save this clip for some other people, man. We'll clip that out. Yeah, you actually said it right. Yeah, I don't know why I did. I'm only on the show.
It shouldn't be that difficult. It's just 3 words. Bears Country Podcast under Bears Country Productions. We're all in Bears Country.
Bill, do you have any idea what's going on here?
I just thought that was one of those public meetings that you're not supposed to have with
public service announcement.
It doesn't even matter, but Shorty's got to dig a little more. Just let it.
I think Shorty
fun, man.
Shorty forgot that it was a chat and a video going on. He's like, time to have a meeting.
Hey, that's okay. Walt broke off the other day to play fucking video games, man. It just happens on this show.
By the way,
we are the show with the most first of stuff
are-
that shouldn't happen, dude.
we are the first
If you
show.
go through the shows, you can even see, that's another first for BCP because I've never seen that anywhere else.
We are the first show with the first Black Santa, guys.
Right. I was like, what is PJ doing?
We got Black Santa going on over here. Hold on. Let's put that into the main view here.
That's
How do we
just
do that?
Santa, dude.
There we go.
I'm Santa. Yeah, there you go, Peach.
BCP bringing you your first Black Santa, guys.
Wakanda forever.
Wakanda forever. With all of his military awards on the wall. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
This is how you know
laying on the
we're
floor
going
looking-
into the second and third hour.
Oh man, I mean, Foster, I wanted to tell you, man, you got to be careful what you look up online too. Like you said, can't believe everything you read, and I agree with you on that.
Absolutely. So,
And depending what you put in, Google's going to show you whatever you want to see, man.
Yep.
You could put in this,
Yep.
that, and the next thing. I mean, one thing you got to do, and one thing we do in the scientific community is when we get a paper or a magazine article, what they go by. Santa Claus.
For everyone in audio, listening on audio stream, PJ is just he has a Black Santa that he's just moving up and down in the video screen. It's just awesome behind a wonderful little nativity set.
yeah, it's not
Actually,
more of a Christmas scene. It's Wakanda, man. I'm telling you.
It's more like Wakanda and Christmas than a
That's
nativity
it.
scene.
That's what it is, man.
It's amazing.
Actually, what really happened was he fell
Oh.
down and he's laying on the floor looking for his flamethrower and his grenade launcher.
I was
And
just
he
going to
thought,
say,
while I'm down here, because I'm not getting up till the show's over.
give us a ho ho ho, and then you did that. Go ahead, PJ.
Ho ho ho.
Green Giant.
He's giant.
He sounded just like the old commercial. I don't know if you've ever
Right,
seen
it
it.
sure did.
Ho ho ho. Green giant.
Yeah, but PJ's ho 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 was almost like the damn commercial, man. That's why I had to say it.
Yeah, some
Billy
of these
Lugosi
young,
sure
young
did,
folks
so I
in
know
the
you've
chat
seen
will
it.
get
Zoom in on his face there, PJ. Oh yeah. That's you with a gray beard, my friend.
Well, it is. He's even got a list of all his brothers and his kids and everything. Literally, right, Peach? Look on that list, man. Look at the names.
Hey,
That's
that's giving me
There's a Martellus on
Tales
there.
from the Hood vibes.
Tales from the Hood vibes.
Well, from Wakanda Hood, brother.
Okay,
know.
gentlemen.
That's a W, right? Like the whatever the
Yeah.
Wakanda sign.
Guys, Walt's going to bring us back here with his analytics. Go, Walt.
Well, no, first I just want to let Jeremy know if he's listening. You can come back after your timeout is over. We'll not be tolerating this whole Juxton sexual stuff. You want to go hang out with Ghost of Judah? That's fine, but we ain't doing it here. So, just very quickly, Foster, back to what I
Damn.
was saying before we get on.
Damn, banned by our.
Oh, he's not banned. I'm giving him a second chance. He can come back after whatever the timeout is.
A timeout by our producer, Walt.
Ogre.
Damn.
But quickly, Foster, I finished my last thought I was on, then we'll go back to the Lions and the Bears. You know what this show's all about. Black Santa over here. There's something, depending on who you talk to, it's either called impact rating or impact value. It's how they look at the lack of a term, an effectiveness of like a magazine or a publication. So higher the value, the more weight they carry in terms of their view of the scientific community. So you look at magazines like Cell and Nature; those are usually top end. So you gotta and everyone's guilty of this. So I'm not singling you out. Before we go and look at, especially on sensitive subjects like that, we need to look at the source material and where it's coming from. And that's all I'm going to say. Now I'm just going to end it.
That's what.
Same in the NFL, man. You better check that source.
Yeah,
exactly.
Look at all the crap you see, man.
Don't go blowing your mouth before you have the facts.
But we were talking about the Lions and the keys to victory, and I know, Ville, you brought it up. We were talking about the battle in the trenches, which is probably going to be the catalyst of the entire game, right there. That's definitely Justin Fields' play. I mean, he's been on a good streak these last couple of games, minus the Minnesota game, which is just one bad half. I'm not going to sink him on that, but you're looking at quarterback ratings of 100 and change. Was 87 last week versus the Vikings. So then we're looking at a good upward trend. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do now against Detroit again. The problem is, and I think we have to look at too, is what is the anatomy of the play itself? Because we've seen throughout history, even in PJ, I know you're a military man, when the battle plan is bad, it doesn't matter the quality of your troops. Sometimes you just have to help it fail. There's nothing you can do. And
That's a fact.
Custer's last stand.
Yeah, and I'm not taking blame away from Fields. Yes, Fields does have faults, and no one's saying that. I know Bearsky brought that up. Like, you can't have criticism. Like, yes, he's definitely warranted criticism in some areas, of course. But at the same time, the tools he's given, not the players, but the actual plan of attack, if it's flawed, then sometimes it's not going to matter what it is. Who's the quarterback? And I think we're forgetting that. I think we're jumping down Fields' throat, and because he is the quarterback, he's the head of this offense, so to speak. But we're not looking at everything from the top down. We're skipping one whole section of the game.
I think that what we've seen as a fan base is a quarterback that we have never ever expected to have, and he became a once in a generation quarterback for us as fans of the Bears who have never had one. And we have just been, our expectations were put so high with Justin Fields from the beginning because we have never had anything like that we expected MVP by now. We expected, Lamar Jackson kind of a season by now, or a Patrick Mahomes kind of a season by now, or you insert quarterback here by now in their career. And because it hasn't happened, we as a fan base have become divided over that. And it's almost become like I said before, like a Trump Biden thing where we're like, you are either against me or you're for me. And it's not that. It's that we're trying to look at this as a fan base objectively. And I think we've all come to the conclusion after finally having a moment to actually progress what Bajan had to offer on the field. He's a rookie. Of course, he'll get better. Can his arm strength? No, we've talked about that before on the show. I mean, probably not. Nothing like Justin. Justin comes back in. I think that it put all that the fan base who has always been so used to having and qualming for the second string quarterback to come in and wanting to see what they have. We're just used to doing that as a fan base. It happened. We've kind of moved on from it. I think we've all, at least I would hope. I know there are a lot that are probably still clamoring for Bajan, but I think collectively as a fan base, it kind of helped that Justin got injured minorly, and we got to take a step back and go and realize that no, we're wrong this time as a fan base. Justin Fields is the guy. The minute he came back in, you saw the difference. You saw, even in my own eyes, I saw even him getting rid of the ball quicker, whatever that means, because they're still running all those fucking screen plays. So the reason why it wasn't working before, in my opinion, was that his release was just too long, so it just didn't work as well. He came back after the Bajan games and noticeably different for me as a fan. And I think everyone needs to realize that we have a generational talent here. And to what you're saying, Walt, the coaching does matter. We've seen it. Like Jay Cutler was a generational talent, got tossed around from coordinator to coordinator over the years, was barely with one for more than a 2 seasons.
I wouldn't say generational talent.
I was going to say he was a fine quarterback, but
as far as his arm strength,
he was a franchise type quarterback. I wouldn't say generational talent.
Okay, so well, fair enough. To my point being,
yes, sir.
Justin he has proven to what you were saying, Ville. He put all of his body into that throw of that last game for that last pass. That for me, after seeing everything that happened in that game, and almost you could see like he was down from the fumble, and you could see like the loser mentality like kind of creeping back in on his face, just like in his his motions on the field, and then boom, he throws that strike. And I loved how you said that. Put all of his body into it. He did. You're coined as saying that for me, Phil. He put all of his fucking body into that throw. It was a beautiful pass. For me, I think that was the play that he needed, and that was the comeback that he needed. That was the win that he needed at the end of the game that he's been denied for so many games. To finally get that, I think this is a turn in this team. The defense is playing better. The offense is gaining ground. And I actually think that we can win this game. I really do. I think that this is, damn, I hope I'm not wrong, but I think that this was that moment. That pass, like you said, he put his whole body into it, Phil.
Hold on, Dan. I don't want to interrupt you, but I think Foster's been trying to say something here for a sec. So I want to get it.
But I'm done.
I was smacking him just when he said the last thing you said, the negative, whatever. I hope so.
Well, I have a question.
We all are still hoping so, right? But we're starting to get out of the less hope zone and more into the reality zone. Like we actually believe. Hope, less hope and more believe, right?
I have a question for Shorty. What did you make of after that Minnesota game? I don't know if you saw the clip in the locker room where Poles and Fields gave each other a big hug. Yeah. What did you make of that?
I made
Fields ain't
the
going
same
nowhere.
thing as you. No, PJ, I know what you're getting at. That was a big moment, right? That was a defining moment in kind of like where they believe and what their beliefs are in Fields. And I don't think that they're giving up on him. That hug would not have happened unless it was just, purely.
It was
right on the next team.
It wasn't like just a good job hug. It was a hug of man. It was like, it was a hug that you would give your son.
Right.
Absolutely.
He like picked him up, I think, right?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It was like,
I love you, man. We're gonna do this shit. That's
right. It was a big hug where it's like, whoa.
I got to piggyback on this because I'm gonna forget. Because what I really wanted to say at one point, I was going to stop Dan and say, "Well, I'm glad at least you're defending your own self about Badgett, not anybody else on this panel." That was my first joke. And then, secondly, when you're talking about quarterbacks, and this is old Bear fans for the last fucking 70 years. We're used to Green Bay having two quarterbacks for the last damn 27 years that killed us. You go back to the 70s, the 60s and the 70s into the 80s. The Vikings did that. You go back, even the Lions had better quarterbacks. Somebody always had 20 years of quarterbacks. Usually it was three guys. The Dolphins, the Colts, the Cowboys, the Chargers did it with two guys for 30 damn years, man. So we've never experienced anything like that in our history. 103 years, 104 seasons, never experienced it. So the fans out there just don't have the patience. Some of them see stuff and they don't even believe their own eyes because they're stuck in this thing up. And nobody's got any more goddamn patience. Look at this. Jordan Love is in what? His fourth season, right? I don't care he didn't play all those games because sitting 3 years on the bench is like going through a rough season, man. It really is. And you can experience, look at what 4 weeks off, I think, really did for Fields' mind, too. That changed his game, those 4 weeks off. Look at the game. So we just don't have the patience to do it anymore. The guy's in his fourth season. Fields is in his what season?
Don't know how. We don't have it. We're not.
That's what I'm piggybacking on your point. And old and young fans are used to seeing whether you – because, see, back in the day, man, when there was only 20 teams, it was a lot different. You could follow every damn team. There was 14 games. You could follow every quarterback easily. We didn't have all this media. You got the highlights every week. You saw 2 or 3 games a week, counting Monday night. If you were lucky, 4. You had 2 extra games on Thanksgiving, so you got to see more. And everybody saw it. It wasn't for the people that could afford it, because all the games were on ABC, NBC, CBS. There wasn't even a Fox station. Fox was nothing at that time. So they're not used to it, and nobody has the patience to let this develop. That's. I'm going to go back to polls because, and I picked Warren's not going to hire him. Those guys are on the signed page. The polls was here first. There's got to be a designation where I don't see how Warren could just fire him at this point in time. I don't think it's possible. That would have to come from George, because it's George's guys and his guys that made the decision for Poles.
Please
but
stay
we have the concept that Poles is going to build this team right. He's showing us with what he's doing. I'm going to build through the draft, and this team is going to take the North. It could take 3 or 4 years. I'll shut the fuck up now. I'm done.
Yeah, I got to say, Dan, I'm actually.
We're going to win. We're going to beat Detroit 24-17.
I thought you were shutting up.
24-17. Now I'm going to shut up.
I know.
And you better make sure that Bill gets to plug all the shit, because I want to hear all the shit. I wrote
Shut up and let Bill talk so you can let Ville talk. Get out of here. Thank you, somebody, whoever did that. Fuck out of here, Foster.
I did just want to tell you, Dan, I'm glad to see you're finally coming around to the Justin Fields side of things, that maybe he's actually can do this.
You know, the shit from you guys, more so you, Walt. I'm looking right at you, my friend. It was only speculation. It was only talk. I was just trying to stir narrative. We need to have these conversations.
Okay, well, no, I'll read something. I'll read something to you real quick.
To the Justin thing now. I mean, I
remember you saying that you were never out on Justin Fields, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. Let's just go to the tape here, so to speak. Unfortunately, now this is just a random comment. I'm not going to give it.
You don't actually have tape.
No, I don't. It's a screen. He says, unfortunately, Fields isn't working out, but better they are bad and get 2 top picks than be average and find out at the end of the season. So the guy's saying that he's done with Justin Fields, right?
Yeah.
The comment here is, I hate to agree with you, but yes. That was your comment.
So wait, what was the
he was saying that
Fields calling me out of my own look at this shit, Phil. He's calling me out of my own show.
Yeah, that's what good producers do.
So wait.
So the person commenting here was he's out on Justin Fields. For whatever reason, he's saying that I don't agree with Justin Fields, and that's fine. But then you're going on saying that you agree with said comment. But then you go weeks later and say, I was never out on Justin Fields. The proof's in the pudding, man. It's right there.
So so what helps the channel is agreeing with or liking and sending this, Phil. You do your own like on your channel. It helps to promote comments.
But it's not saying anything. You can't like it, or you can't like something. Okay. It's that you're holding to your convictions. That's what I'm saying. I mean, you can't tell me one way that
the best course of action is to agree with me. You can never go wrong. I approve that message.
All I'm saying is if you say one thing and then this is that the next, it's just I don't know. I mean, you can have a difference in opinion. That's fine.
But so what you're saying is opinions can't change.
No, opinions can change. That is 100% true. But to say that I was never something and then be that is different. So if your opinion,
where was that at?
So I'm being called out right now by Walt as being a non-Justin truther. So what are you saying that I can't root for Justin Fields right now?
Wait,
because
wait, Walt, where was that at?
I once said something that you're quoting me on your own show negatively about Justin Fields.
No, I'm not saying you can't like or dislike, but to go on and say that I've never done this when you have, I mean, that's a little different. If you went and said, at this point, I'm not here and I'm not with Justin Fields at the moment for whatever your reason is, and then go down the line and say, well, now he's proved me wrong. So I get that, and that's fine. But to say I've never been there, and then it's just like it's crazy.
Why would you subscribe to this channel, guys? We're just we inner fight with each other like this. Like,
and it's not like
do not subscribe to Bears Country Podcast or Productions.
Crap.
It's
just lost like 30 people, man.
I just found it
Poor
funny.
Ville.
Yeah. Y'all asked Walt to come out. He brought the receipts.
Walt don't play
on everything, man.
Yeah, fuck Walt. He's out of here.
Walt don't play.
I'm back.
At all.
I mean, like if you went off and said like, I'm 100% Justin Fields. I don't at this point. I don't feel like Justin has done what he needs to do, and like that's what you owned. And then you said, "Oh, I changed my mind." Like I'm fine with that. There's no problem with that. Just own your opinion.
Okay, I will. From now on, I will. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Cool.
I appreciate the subjective contradiction to what I was saying. It works. It works on the show. We need that.
I'm just glad. As I said, I'm glad you're seeing that maybe Justin Fields is the guy, and he's not the whole problem.
I think
He's
that was
not the whole problem. That's for sure.
I think that was just another one of y'all's forgetting that it's a video going meetings. That could have been an email.
No, we do that shit here on BCP. If you're gonna call me out, call me out, and I'll say fuck you, then Walt, and we'll move on.
Honestly, I would be doing you a disservice if I didn't bring this up.
True, you would be. Yes, but there is no, denying right now that Justin Fields he's the answer. It's not moving on to another head coach that wants a new quarterback, right?
Any quarterback.
It's either a head coach that wants him or you keep Flus, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think even to what you guys were saying earlier, like he's only 24 years old.
Exactly.
And, I know you guys brought up, Frank Reich being fired because he didn't want Bryce Young, he wanted C.J. Stroud, et cetera, et cetera. Man, you're a football coach. You should be able to do your job at least somewhat effective, no matter what or who the quarterback is. Now, it's not like Bryce Young sucks or he's
Frank was willing to stay and build the team.
I mean, there's more to it than just that. There's definitely some behind the scenes stuff that we're not privy to.
Absolutely.
And the fact that you didn't want that.
Thanks, Bill.
Yeah. If you didn't want that quarterback and you got fired.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Ridiculous.
Dude, I'm sitting here writing in your show for tomorrow. Thank God BCP's over.
I just remember the other show I was on with y'all, and it was like we was on for like 7-8 hours. I think it was a draft show or something like that.
No, that was a show that BearsCountry was on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because he took like 3 hours.
Where did BearsCountry go? We were having a good conversation.
I think I heard his feelings. I might have. I'm sorry.
He's usually got a time clock where he's got to do stuff, dude. He pops in and out. Because he did ask us to show the video, and I was going to tell him, yeah, let's get that video on before we roll, and I make sure we find out what's going on with Bill tomorrow night too, man.
Yeah, we have a bit of time. Night is still young.
It's 11.
Ville, by the way, it is awesome to have you on tonight as our guest. Like you're
I appreciate it.
Great shit to say, man.
I love being on with you guys. It's always fun.
Plug your channel again, please. Plug what do you got going on over here?
Well, they can go and subscribe at 3 Point Stands Podcast on YouTube. Same thing in Instagram and Twitter. I'm trying to ignore PJ and this Black Santa by not looking at the screen. Tomorrow we're going live at 5 p.m. We are doing a Chicago Bears ticket giveaway, section 149. It's kind of at the corner of one of the end zones, but low seats, so you'll be close to the field. 2 tickets.
What?
The entry or the way to enter, you can go to our pinned tweet at 3 Point Stance Podcast on Twitter. Still time to enter before tomorrow. Just follow the instructions of the tweet, which is basically retweet, follow the names in the tweet, and tag the person that you want to take. And we'll pick someone randomly. The show should be between 5 to 7. If it carries over, so be it. But we'll try to get the announcement done sometime within the show. We don't want to give you a time, so you just pop up at the time of the show. But come on, go enter and see if you can win these tickets.
What?
That is awesome, dude, man.
If you didn't hear it, you got to say that all over again, Bill.
What?
Hey, TJ, while you're looking for your gun and your flamethrower, look for the hearing aid too.
I found that one.
Oh, thank goodness you did.
Yeah, I found the hearing aid.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah, it was
Can
at
you hear
Foster's house.
Can you hear us now? Hello?
What'd you say?
Hello, can you hear us?
What'd you say?
PJ, can you? Anyone? PJ, can you hear us?
When you guys get a moment, I do want to pose 2 questions to the group here and see what your opinions are on these things. So we're going to start with the easier one of the 2. Marvin Harrison Jr. Is he going to stay or is he going to come out in the draft?
He's coming out because his quarterback entered the transfer portal. I heard.
He did. You did hear the interview today. I mean, I think it's a little bit of, more just for the camera saying, well, I don't know what I'm going to do yet.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. But
that's what I believe.
You're all in agreement that he's going to come out this year?
Yes.
Okay. Second thing is that there's been some rumbling going on in the NCAA about possibly paying their players directly, like not through just the nil system, but now I'm a bit on the fence about this, just because I understand you're playing college football and all that, and the university is making money out of it. But at the same time, a lot of these, not all of these, but a lot of these guys are on football scholarships already. And the point of university is to, further your education first and sports later, even if you want to make that your career. You're already getting in some cases, some people are getting free rides. So I think personally, if I would look at it as, if I'm going to start paying these players to play football for me, I would look at possibly removing the scholarships from them, because I'm not going to double dip. Use the money for your education. But at the same time, I can't give you free money to come here and then pay you on top of it. You're already getting paid, so to speak.
That's a fucking great question, Walt.
That is a good question.
I think what we're seeing it right now in the current college atmosphere is Caleb Williams is one of the, if not the first, top. I mean, this just happened, last year?
So making $3 million, I think.
So I bet he's making more than that with his endorsements and stuff like that. So he's got to be the first quarterback to make, let's just say, the first player in college, or one of the first, to make $1 million+ in college.
Yeah.
So the reasons why we're seeing all this stuff coming about Caleb Williams recently has got to have something to do with him making that much money in college. His head is already that expanded from that, right? Any one of us would be. So what's going to happen in 10 years just with the current format? And to what you're saying, Walt, I think that they should. If you're that big of a prospect coming out of high school, that there should be like one of 2 options that you choose from, right? Kind of like what you're saying, Walt.
Mm-hmm. I'll go ahead, PJ, and then I'll jump in, and then Foster. PJ first, then Foster, then I'll go.
I'll say my opinion on paying athletes. I understand Walt's point, but if if colleges are making millions upon millions of dollars from these athletes, you getting a scholarship may be worth $400,000, but the colleges are making millions.
$27 million a year.
I mean,
$50 million a year off of you. Yeah.
I would say I would go as far as to say this: even if you don't want to pay the players because they have their endorsements, offer more scholarships, even if it is not at your school, to where more kids can get into college and play some sports, because that's where the money I think really needs to go, to where you can get these kids into college and let them pursue their dreams of playing college ball. Let's say Alabama, let's say they're making $200 million on TV deals because of football. Be able to give more scholarships, and then if you only can have so many scholarships for Alabama's football, be able to give some of that money then to another school, to where they can get some kids to go to their college, even if it's like a lesser or the sub bowl series colleges, the smaller colleges. But give these kids a chance to go to college, man, because again, they're playing football. So that's what's making you the money. Let that money be able to be attributed to people going to college.
Well said. What about you,
Foster?
Phil Foster? Ville Foster? Who's next?
I actually feel like they need to get paid, to be honest. Like I don't really have a set opinion of how much they should get paid, how it should work out, or what the structure should be. I'm not a finance guy, especially when it comes to comparing the NFL versus the college revenue, streams. But I feel like they put their life on the line, they put their bodies on the line. They are, a lot of them are getting scholarships. So a lot of people try to use that. Well, they're getting paid scholarships, but a lot of them don't. A lot of them are just, walk-ons or paying for their own schooling or partial scholarships. But they do make money off of them. It's not like high school. High school, you might get your T-shirt sold in the local Walgreens or Jewel. Like I'm in Downers Grove, like you see Downers Grove South T-shirts and Walgreens, but you're not gonna see it in the next town. So,
Right.
They're grown men playing 12, maybe more games a year if you're in the top college or in the playoffs or something like that, or bowl games. Then you play the Senior Bowl, things like that. So you're doing everything you can and putting a university's name on the front of your jersey, and you're not getting any compensation for it. You're out there doing everything to bring them viewership, put butts in the stands, concession stands. These coaches are getting paid millions, now down there, and you're just going. And what happens? What happens if it's your junior year and this looks like it's the year I'm coming out, and then you get hurt and it's like career ending. Like, so now you did all that for naught. So I feel like they should be paid something, some sort of salary. Maybe not on the obviously not on the level of NFL, but shoot, some of these Alabama, I'm sure they're getting plenty of money. I'm sure some of these huge colleges, they're getting probably close to some of these lower level NFL teams when it comes to revenue from alumni boosters and sponsors, all that stuff. So that's my opinion. I think they need to pay them, male and female.
Yeah, that's good, man. I'm gonna piggyback on all of it, and even this can be adjusted because, like, okay, so Shakur Sanders, if he goes back next year, I think he gets $4.5 million. So if the guy's smart and does the right thing, no matter what happens, he's set for life. That's awesome.
And that's off endorsement deals, correct?
Yeah.
It's all endorsement.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
So that's not an issue. You take all this money they're making, and instead of paying these players, let them get their endorsements. You put everybody, you give them their scholarship, you put them on a stipend. So make sure they got a car, and if they got to pay their electric bill in their dorm room or their wherever they're living, and they have the things that they need. And then there should be amount of money put in a fund for players on the team, because then you could take all that excess money, bring back all the women's sports and the sports they've taken away from these colleges because they're spending so much on football already. Invest money in the community and the people living in the community, because then you'll bring in more students. If you've got a better community around these colleges, it's basically just a cycle of really doing the right fucking thing with the money, and nobody does it. Do you know why Abraham Lincoln became an attorney when he was Illinois state representative? To support his family, because they didn't get paid $180,000 a year with all their medical benefits. It's public service, man. And in the face of these universities, especially the state-paid universities, they're public servants. They need to do what is best for the athletes, the school, and the community surrounding it. So it's really, I don't think the athletes should get this money. There should be a fund for all the athletes, because they're not all going to go play sports. We know this. Mm-hmm. But they're going to need some assistance to get, they need to get their degree. That's what they're there for first. You stated that. That's number one priority, man. This is a game. It isn't life. Life can be a real hard game if you're not prepared, just like football. All this money should be, distributed properly, reinvested into school. The education, let's get the education system updated properly and not remove shit and force shit on these students that they shouldn't have to learn. Let's give them the truth finally in everything as much as possible. And again, reinvesting in the school, the teachers, because let's face it, you go across the country, man, there's a lot of crappy teachers out there. There's a lot of them. The stuff I see here in Chicago is insane. There's got to be somebody willing to do a better job if they have a little assistance to get the teaching job. I got my brother has 4 sons. They're all teachers, and they're all some of the greatest teachers you could ever meet. If you met them without even knowing me and you just met them somewhere, you would think highly of them just for their thoughts and ideas. It's basically about improving life for human beings and improving every community, every city in this country. And you can start with these universities with the billions of dollars that they're taking in to do that. Improve everything across the board. The money's there. They just spend all this money on some of the most insane shit. Constant advertisement. Big money for the advertisement. When the people that are watching, they already know the game's there. I know they want to expand it. If they want to expand it, put everything back so that people can see it and be exposed to it on a regular basis instead of sitting there, you know what? We need more fucking money. All these big contracts, we got to get these big contracts. So now you got to pay to watch whatever the fuck it is. I can't even watch Illinois games here. You know that?
Yeah.
I have to pay to see an Illinois game.
Yeah.
My entire life, I've been able to watch Northwestern Illinois and DePaul and all these damn schools, and now I got to pay to get the stuff streamed, period. So all the money needs to go back into the education, man. How many women's sports teams have been lost that they've just taken out of schools? Programs that they've completely disabled because all the money's going to football. Build the community around you, man. Some of the schools in Illinois, some of the areas around some of the schools like Southern Illinois and Eastern Illinois and DeKalb. I mean, DeKalb, it's not as bad, but man, if you go down there and drive around through that, what happened to that section of that community that was beautiful 20, 30 years ago? They've taken money and resources away from the students and the people that have to live in that community. So it just needs to be done right, man. I'm sorry to ramble on, but it's something.
No, that was your turn to talk. I think
about it, dude.
Those were some of the most brilliant words that you've ever said, except for the word education. You actually did say education.
I like how you started that and then went crazy profound. That was best. Like that has to be clipped up. Absolutely. Like that.
Cheers, my friend.
Spot on. Right. Cheers for sure.
That was very well said, my friend.
You get the stuff that's here, and that's what it's all about.
You did say education. I thought it was on purpose, but it worked.
Probably wasn't, but it could be because I've been saying education for 45 years. All my friends that went to public school, I told them they got a really good education.
I mean, if also to your point, I have to agree. If they do go that route and decide to the university to offer money to its student athletes. That should go towards their education only. Because that's
and
part of
then
the
even
reason.
a program for after graduates who need a helping hand up. That's what the pool would be for. That's going to be most of your players on all your sport teams are going to need a hand after graduation up. That's all.
Yeah. No, because I've seen it firsthand. Like I always say, my wife is a doctor. She has her PhD out of UConn. The astronomical cost, even after master's was paid for by actually no, she paid for master's, but the PhD program was covered by the university. It's insane. You're making six figures easy coming out of college, and you're saddled with all this loan, all these student loans, and you're looking at guys like Sanderson driving around in a Rolls Royce. We're never going to see that kind of money.
Right.
You're playing football. I mean, it's a fucking game, like you said, Foster. At the end of the day, you're throwing a little leather ball around, and I think we put a lot of emphasis on the athletes, and that's not just football; it's every sport. You go to any college and you'll see, the athletes are held to a higher peg than the rank and file student. We should be prioritizing education, even with these, these football players. Like, either make it to the point where they have to complete the 4-year degree and then declare, so they have a fallback option in case, like Ville said, if they're walking down the street and their ACL blows out on them, because it can happen. You can't play football no more. What are you going to do now?
Pickup game in the backyard with your kids, blow out your fucking knee. They're like, you're done.
Remember what?
But you have to also take in consideration too, though, that without these student athletes playing football, they wouldn't be getting the revenue anyway. So you have to keep that in mind. I mean, we can say that they're getting the education they're getting the money for their education, but the reality is they're making all these millions of dollars off the play of these players. So why are the players not getting some type of kickback? So that's why I'm saying I'm kind of on the fence. I mean, I see what actually both points of view. So I can't just totally disregard the player who's playing, because if Sanders isn't at Colorado, would Colorado be getting the type of revenue they're getting right now? No. So he's bringing in that. So the players ought to be able to get some of that because they the one doing that playing.
Yeah, but,
and the players can give back. Wait, the players can give back best to the universities by not trying to rape them and help them this way, because they're not all going to donate 20 million, 30 million to that thing. It's all the alumni combined that do it. So it's the bigger picture, Peach. I get exactly what you're saying. That's why there needs to be a fund set up to help these people. But I definitely agree with encouraging, okay, man, you know what? Even if you're going to go play NFL, you've got it. You're locked into your contract here for 3 or 4 years, at least 3. Not to play football, but to go to school and get your degree. It's a lot different today, man. All the guys back in the day used to have to get a job in off season. They were working jobs, all these sports. They were working jobs, and most of them ended up okay. You always hear about the guys who were broke and got head damage. I mean, that's that needs to be taken care of for sure, which they're doing by all the things they're doing.
You said they need to be locked in.
Most of them were smart enough to take their money and invest it properly. Most sports players, again. Go ahead. What'd you say, Pete?
You said the players need to be locked into being there for 3 years. Is that what you said?
Not playing the sport, their education. Okay, you're going to go to the NFL, but you're still going to complete this 3rd year. We've signed this because there's a lot of guys that go out. Who was the guy that just got caught in Canada last summer for robbing banks? Multi-millionaire, retired sports guy. You remember this?
Oh, no, I don't remember that.
I'll have to go back and dig that up because it was all over the country, and he wouldn't do it. And he could have had a $4 million a year contract playing this year, but instead he went to Canada to rob banks because he didn't feel like playing to make millions of dollars.
I think we're getting a little bit off subject now.
No, we're not. We're not, because he didn't finish it. He went fuck it. He went to the NFL, didn't learn shit, didn't attempt, and now instead of even taking a contract that he's guaranteed $4 million for the year. He's like, fuck it, I don't know anything I'm doing. I don't want to play football anymore. That's all fine, but he's got nothing to fall back on, so he's in this scheme robbing banks in Canada.
But you can't make a person go to college, though.
You can't. Encourage them. You know, even if you sign it, dude. If I sign this thing, how many people go to court and get out of it?
Doug Van Dorn is saying Foster is very edgy. Macation.
Awesome, Doug. Awesome, man.
Killing it with the dad jokes.
I'm gonna just shut the fuck up because I'm tired too, man.
Dad jokes. God.
Yeah,
I like that one.
This is a very interesting conversation, though, guys.
It is.
You know, personally, I'm completely against collegiate athletics in terms of stuff. It's not my thing. Not my thing. I feel the need of the university is to better yourself in terms of your education. You don't have to go to college. You don't have to go. You can go to a trade school. You can be a plumber, an electrician, whatever, and live a great life. Some people just college isn't it, and if you want to move on to other things, that's fine. But when you're in school, your main focus has to be your education. And like you said, Foster, if they do start handing some of this revenue back to the players, it should go towards just their education and their ability to live and sustain themselves while at school. You don't need the fancy car like you got Caleb Williams running around with a fucking Ferrari or Maserati, whatever the hell he has. We're not talking about fixing college athletics, Cliff. That's impossible.
He can do that if he so desires. He's getting $4 million in advertisements. I'm just saying.
But that's advertisements. That's not from the college.
That's the top tier guys are different than most of the athletes on every team, right?
Right.
That's all. That's the big thing. It's a little different. It's going to be there's always going to be two different people. There's always going to be 2 or 3 different ways to treat people. That's another problem too. So I need to shut the fuck up, man.
How about this? I don't know if you guys are aware of this. There are, when it comes to scholarships is not guaranteed year after year. Because if I get a scholarship my freshman year, I blow out my knee or whatever, they can take that scholarship, and now I got to pay for my education sophomore, junior, senior year. So part of the conversation ought to be, again, when you give these scholarships, have it a full ride scholarship and a full scholarship to the players, whether or not the player the next year sucks and you want to cut him, but because you already recruited him and he did that first year with you, have him sit up there, you pay for the rest of his college. Some of that comes down to players sitting up, a player get recruited, get a scholarship, and he goes there that first year and he does okay. But the coach is like, well, I want to improve this team. So now he's looking for somebody else. And this player didn't get that much playing time because, like I said, he only did okay. So he looks in the transfer portal, being the coach, grabs a better player, released the player he had recruited last year. Now that player no longer has a scholarship. He don't have he can't go to another school because he don't have the film to show them because he didn't get that much playing time. So what do you do with that player?
He should be guaranteed the other 3 years, and he's completed 1 year under the scholarship. So then he doesn't have to worry about anything.
Well, he should be. I agree, but that's not how it works, and that's what I'm saying.
But that's why I'm saying that's how it should work.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Those things should be addressed.
It does depend on the scholarship too, because they're all a little different. Sometimes you have to reapply year after year. You have to really look at. Because like you said, PJ, sometimes
you have to reapply every 6 months. I'm going through it now. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It's a difficult process, man.
I was just using a year as baseline.
Right.
I just wanted to throw it in for context, Walt. I'm with you.
Oh yeah, I understand. But you also look at too, like, are we 100% sure if this person's playing college and is he either injured and can't play? Does he lose said scholarship? We don't know. Who's to say that he doesn't? He can still finish out his education and move on.
Yeah. I just think they need to do a better job with the kids because, again, the kids are the ones who's getting you your revenue by playing out there on that field. So when you give these scholarships, like I said, you give more scholarships, give more full ride scholarships, because these kids, again, is the one that's causing you your program. Now, as to your point, I know I'm going to lose some people on this, and that's fine, but I'm going to speak my mind. When it comes to women's programs and like that, women's sports need to bring in some revenue. They need to be able to bring in some revenue too, instead of always relying on then the guy scholar or the Sky Sports to fund theirs. They got to be able to bring in something too. I mean, I get it. They may not be able to bring in as much, but to leave them, well, we're just going to always cover them all the time. If nobody's trying to watch that, how are you going to? I mean, why are you trying to support it if nobody's trying to watch it to give them the revenue?
You're trying to support it. I got to jump in real quick. You're trying to support it because these are human beings. They need this. It's something that people need in their life, and if it's not available to them, it would really suck. And I'm just trying to be fair, man. It's going to be like that, man. Like the WNBA, NBA shit, dude. There's always going to be lesser and greater, dude, and you've got to cover everybody. I may be off, but that's just the way I feel, man.
We live in a capitalist society.
I understand that. And that's, things have to change from the top down with the society. That's fine. Capitalism's great. But there's too much misuse, too much greed, too much corruption everywhere.
I do not deny that. But
right.
We're speaking on the WNBA and NBA again, if WNBA is operating in the red their whole existence, at what point in time do we have them, hey, look, you guys got to somehow bring up more revenue. Change your game if you have to, but do something to bring up the revenue, because again, it's a capitalist society. I can't expect somebody to foot my bill all the time when I'm not working for a government or agency. I'm working in a private agency, but I want somebody else to foot the bill.
Only college. I should not have pro sports in there. If they can't exist, they can't exist. That's a different aspect. We're talking for the greater good, and I'm just talking college. I should have never brought the NBA in it. I should have brought up Southern Illinois' cricket team that had to be canceled, as opposed to the one in any one of them on the East Coast, man. Because not all those girls are going to get into those East Coast schools. They're just not. So now they're completely denied of the program. I'm talking college, Peach, and it's not a lot of money. It's not a lot of money considering what football's bringing in, dude. That's why these guys and stars that draw you to the talent, the college ranks, they should get their share. They should be allowed to get their endorsements. They should be guaranteed their education, just like every one of them, like the guy you were talking about. But to give back at that point in time, when they really don't even have to do it themselves, all they have to do is allow it to happen. And then you got to have somebody overseeing it, make sure it's happening. That's the biggest fucking problem, because everybody's a damn crook. I'm going off on crooks tonight. You get what I'm saying, though, right? Or no, guys?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Definitely. I mean, here's the thing, too, PJ. I know Foster's going off on another ring here. There's more to it than just, this, that, and women's sports, being able to draw the revenue. You got to really peel back the onion, so to speak, and look at the different layers. I hate to say it, there's a lot of people out there that just unfortunately think, women are lesser beings, so to speak. And that plays into fun stuff. Everything across the board.
Women are lesser than
I know some males they're afraid of strong women. Let's be completely real. It is what it is. I can't tell you why, and I can't tell you how to fix it, but they're out there. No one in this chat or anyone here is like that. But
that's sad, because there are a vast, I wouldn't say a majority yet, but women are making a lot more money now than they ever had. I don't, like, my friends, and like my wife makes more than I do. Most of my friends' wives make more money than they do, or they're equal to. So I think we're actually in a good time right now, where women are actually, they're finally starting to get their. I know I just jumped into this after popping out to go take a piss, but women are they're making their way now, man. It's something to be proud of for them.
Dan, I don't want to interrupt you. I really wanted to get to Bear Truth Nine's comment here, where he says, "I believe, and if you get recruited for football, you shouldn't have to get an education unless you want." Yeah, I can't go that way, man. I really can't. You need to better yourself outside of the sport, because you can't play football forever. What are you going to do after that? You know, and we have to better ourselves as human beings, as a complete society. We go back to the 50s when we were prioritizing things like math, science, overall education, where we were prospering as just not just Americans, but as a species as a whole. We were going into space. We walked on the moon. We didn't just say things to people like, oh, well, you don't know what you're talking about because I don't agree with it. And I saw a video on YouTube that said the same thing. So that's gospel. You know, look at COVID, for an example. You have medical experts that have spent hundreds of thousands of hours, years of their life devoting themselves to this field. And you went off and said, well, I know more than you because, I saw some guy who said if you eat a crystal every day, your body's going to turn into the Incredible Hulk or, something retarded like that. So I can't agree with not getting an education, period. If you want to play football, that's your dream, that's fine. Go do that. But at the same time, you have to have something on the back end just in case football doesn't work out. Because we've seen it with plenty of people that if you're great in college but you don't translate to the pros, so what are you going to do? You gotta have that thing to fall back on, and you have to use it to just better everyone else around you too. I mean, like I don't know. I just can't get behind not having it. At least try it. If you want to get like a communications degree or history or whatever those the quote unquote lesser degrees are, just go for it, man. Have that safety net.
Ville has got to leave. He's clearly bored with our conversation anyway. He's like, I'm just talking chat right now. Going into it with Jeremy. I'll have to go back and reread all this conversation between you guys.
I thought Ville was going to leave around 9:30, man. It's 11:30 now.
Nah, I love being on with you guys. My wife has been sending me messages like your food's on the stove.
Get your ass up here and get your ass to bed.
We'll see you tomorrow about 5:00, right?
For sure. Hopefully you guys come over there and have some fun with us.
We'll come and hassle you too.
Oh yeah, we'll definitely come over there and hang out in your chat. And you got your tell us about your show again. You got some good stuff going on tomorrow.
For sure. We got some of Twitter's favorite Chicago podcasters. You got Coach T will be on there, Ill Will from Three Kings of Midway, Taylor Dahl from Windy City Gridiron should be on there. Trying to think. Dose of Dion, who's a great Lions podcaster, will be on there to discuss the Bears versus Detroit Lions game Sunday, obviously. I'm trying to think of who else might be. Oh, Swifty, obviously.
Swifty, dude.
That's my favorite one that's joining is Swifty. The first okay that I got was Swifty. So, and we're giving away the Chicago Bears tickets, section 149. My co-host Micah, he was in the chat earlier, but he works. He's a black car driver, so he was in the chat while he was every stop. He would jump in the chat and shout out to guys. So, but should be some really nice seats. The entry, you can go still enter. We still haven't picked the winner. We'll pick the winner on the show from the tweets. You can go to our account at 3 Point Stands Podcast on Twitter and follow the pinned tweet at the top of the profile page. And it's basically just following three of us at 3 Point Stands Podcast, retweeting and tagging someone that you would like to bring.
Ville,
and the winner will be announced at the end of that show, guys. So you gotta fucking get in the draw and stick around because there's gonna be a ton of great shit on that show.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a ton of stuff.
I'm gonna do a lot of listening because I'm gonna be moving around during it, but I'm definitely gonna hop in, man. Can't wait for that, dude. I'm entering now and doing everything you suggested.
Yeah. Dude, you got some great stuff going on over there on your channel, your Twitter. I mean, you're hitting milestones.
Oh, thank
I
you.
love all the shorts you're putting out, dude.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Lots of hard work.
You are doing a great job, our friend. And thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. Sorry if we bored you with our conversation at some points.
Oh no, y'all like brothers. Like we sit. Like I said, that one show we was on, I think you got off. You had to get off with the dog.
Yeah, my dog.
Situation. And me, Walt, PJ, Foss, we was on there for another 4 hours. Like I think it was like maybe three or four other people stayed in the chat, and we just was talking. Lost track of time. My wife was like, "You just not coming to bed?" I think it was like 3-4 in the morning. So I know she's PJ just asked what's on the menu in the chat. She made some tacos and they were fire. Like I seen them when she started cooking. When I went upstairs before y'all called me on, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have to. I know it's gonna be a long show, so
you can smell it from there. You're like, damn it.
Yeah, my stomach been growling. It's time to eat and get to sleep.
Our friend, thank you so much for joining us tonight. You are awesome. Your takes on the Bears are great. Check out Ville, the 3 Point Stands podcast. Check out his YouTube channel as well as his Twitter channel, or his Twitter, X, whatever that. It's so weird to say that.
I don't care.
Yeah, but killing it, my brother. And we cannot wait to have you back on again. Go eat some food, man.
For sure. Thanks, guys. Just let me know the next time you guys want me on. I promise not to be such a stranger.
No,
awesome,
absolutely. Love to have you back on again.
Thanks for putting us up with us. And that night, Dan, we did another show after you took care of the dog. maybe 1.5 more shows, man. I don't even know. That was insane.
See you Sunday night, Ville.
For sure.
Friday night.
Good night, brother.
Hey, you said that last time. You better come on.
Yep. We will.
Get a plate.
Say hi to your lovely wife.
Yeah, that guy's awesome, dude. He's awesome. What's going on, gentlemen?
Awesome, dude.
It was a good intellectual conversation, I must say.
It was the turn on the college draft pay stuff. Great stuff, guys. Stop that.
You do remember that.
DVD says that.
All right, it's about that time.
It is about that time. TJ Baskerville, thanks for hanging out with us tonight with your lovely husband.
Yes. Yes, thank you, TJ. Appreciate you. And save me a plate.
And a plate.
We appreciate your patience again.
Cliff Victoria, Doug Van Dorn, Bear Truth 9. Mark Kazak hanging out with us tonight. Mo Bierman was here, I think. Yes, he was. You guys are shit.
Yeah, you guys were great in the chat. Appreciate the conversation in the chat and the way to keep it going. Appreciate you guys.
Without you guys, we've said it before, it does not happen. So let's give a big round of applause to
the other James, man. There's tons of names still, guys. Sorry. Robbie, Bearski, Plank, Swifty, Bearlissimo, Mark Kazak, Foster Covers, Bill 3 Point Stand Pod, Leo Factor 1, PJ, Doug Van Dorn, Cliff Victoria, Mr. Shorty, Heidi Zimmerman. Leo Factor 1. I don't know if I'm repeat, but there's just so many people in here tonight that just jumped in, man.
You guys are awesome.
There was James Ford and James something and STC. And there's Swifty again. Plank was in here. Laz was in here. You know, it's amazing. It's amazing how this is just Destroyer 1320. It's just getting longer and longer. The list is getting longer. I dread that when we can't do this because it'll take fucking half the night.
Jeremy was in here.
Gregory Bell.
Jeremy that Walt put into a freaking timeout.
I missed
I let him come back.
both of Ville's guys, Mr. Mayhem 69. I can't remember Ville's guy's name. Zach.
Mike was here.
James-
The DVD
James
saying Micah was
Ford.
here.
Where's the other James? There's another James that was in.
Oh
here.
yeah, Micah. Ville's upcoming co-host. Micah was here. Thank you,
Micah.
DVD.
Mr. Collins, I thought. Micah Allison. Julian Collins.
What? Pull that up here.
New Breed 313 Sports. Steve popped in here for a while.
Which one, Tim?
Oh yeah, New Breed. We'll see you on your channel next December 13th. Are you guys all in? Who's doing that show with us? I know it's me and Foster at least. You guys, PJ?
What time?
Wednesday, December 13th. It's after the Lions game, before our show.
What
Oh,
time?
I don't know the time yet.
You gotta get
Skylark.
man.
Skylark 99, King Pookie Nation, King
Back here,
Buka
man.
World.
Basketball game, bro.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, keep going,
I
Foster.
know unapologetic truth.
Micah Allison was the other one, right?
Side conversation during the middle of our.
James Hunter. Walter Besky.
Cliff Victoria.
Jason
the
UK Bears. Fucking
Jason
Cliff.
UK. Oh wait, by the way, let's plug that again. So just upcoming. This are we doing a pregame this Sunday, guys?
Call it.
It's up to you guys.
Pregame this Sunday, before the Bears game, and postgame, of course, we'll give you the postgame press conference here live on BCP. Also,
And the Sunday night post game with Walter Foster.
oh, is that your first one, guys?
Second.
Technically second, I guess.
Well, technically.
We didn't do it last week because they didn't play Sunday.
Oh, wait. So say that again. So what time?
10:45, Walt.
That sounds all right. Depends on when I get back from
Just
the game.
make it 11 o'clock on Sunday night. BCP post
Don't tell
game.
don't tell
Post-
the producer
post
of the show what we're making it, man.
Yeah.
Jesus.
We'll call it the post game or the post game, right?
I think I put the post game.
And then Monday night with Dan Aguirre here again on Last Call at House Hall. Lynn Hayden is recovering from a knee replacement surgery. Ugh. The pictures were awful. So we'll allow her to come back on her own time. And then we have the new show next Tuesday coming out, The British Bears, with Chris Watts. He's the host. Chris Watts is the host, guys.
Who's
I'm
the
so
host with the most?
I'm so excited for that. With Jason, UK Bear, who was in chat tonight. He'll be his co-host.
Don Burr was in here too.
Don frickin' Burr. Wow, you know you made it when you have Don Burr in your
I
podcast.
said he said a lot tonight, man. This thing's taking forever, dude.
It was all good stuff too. It wasn't shit. It was all
Well,
good stuff.
No, he gave me some shit.
Well, I mean, you expect that, but he was being very respectful in his football talk tonight. Don Burr was. He wasn't being a dick like he normally
Dude,
can't be.
Shorty, you never got back to King Pookie Nation on Twitter.
Oh, I apologize, King Pookie. Yes, we will work that out. He did DM me.
Wow.
So, I'll get back to you. I apologize. Busy at
Zach.
work.
Zach. Zach.
Is that a new Zach?
That's one of Bill's guys, man, because he even says it in there.
Excellent.
That's why I said I didn't recognize it.
Thank you for joining us, Zach. Ville for joining us. All your excellent followers who follow you for hanging out with us tonight with Ville. We appreciate you for doing so. Please like, subscribe, set your notifications. We've got a lot of stuff coming up here in the next few days, weeks, months. We love you guys.
Steve S was in here too.
Steve S. That's my bro.
Yep.
Guys, On a 1, 2, 3, Bears. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3, Bears.
Bears.